Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Centre Bounce for another Monday night live stream. Just came out of the shower, and I've completely blurred it up. I don't know how I've done that. I'm so good at blurring this camera. It's actually remarkable how good I am at blurring it. It's almost like, oh, not too ugly, too ugly. Gotta calm it down. How's it going, everyone? Hope you had a lovely Monday night. Big J running just a little bit late. He'll be on in about 10 or so minutes. So don't you worry. It will not just be me this week. You will not get a Joe overload. We will have Big J with us in a little bit. How we all doing? Jonas, I know, bro. We were absolutely horrendous. Classic Bombers. As soon as you have just a little bit of faith, and then they come back and they say, nah, stuff you. We're going to bring you back down to earth. And, mate, I'm underneath 9 levels of shit at the moment. I honestly don't know how much longer we can take from this absolute ludicrous performance from the Bombers, but it is what it is. I got to keep telling myself to stop saying it is what it is. I say it way too much. Please, guys, if I say it is what it is, I want you to let me know so I can then sort of mentally slap myself. Velo, how's it going? Congratulations to your Blues. Just got over the line. Good evening to you. How did everyone fare this weekend? Well, if you watched my review video, you would know exactly how I went last week. But I will just share the screen in a tick. Just one little microsecond. There we go. I scored a 22-88 this week. So you beat me, Velo, as a lot of people did. Not everybody. It was a top 8% score. So it is okay. It's fine. It's not too bad. Steven, how's it going, mate? Maybe if I put my camera a little bit over here, potentially, then I can still see myself. Good evening to you. 2263 just pipped you. Ranked 10,254. Okay, you're higher ranked than me. Well done. Out this week, Grundy, Jordan, and Hogan. In Marshall, Nick Martin, and I've been told it's not actually Closey. It is I think it's Clohesi. Clohesi. Let me know again if it's Clohesi or not. But yeah, I'm not against those trades whatsoever, Stephen. Well done. Michael, how's it going? Just watched the AFL from LA. Very funny. Oh, very cool. Good to see you, Michael. Thank you for joining us, mate. I'm thinking of not trading this week and letting my rookies to gain some cash. Well, there's no one really on the bubble this week. So if your team is in a good shape, then you can afford to not trade. But the thing is, though, we'll obviously be talking about it in more detail in an upcoming video this week, as we normally do, talking about the break-evens and things like that. There are a few players who are going to be on the bubble next week. And so it might just be worth the risk, maybe bringing one of them in this week to avoid having to maybe use a boost and potentially miss somebody. So it's an idea, Michael, to potentially look at a Clohesi potentially and see how it goes. Oh, there you go. Velo, I heard it is Clohesi. Sounds like Nessie. Clohesi. I'll try it. Clohesi. It's very hard. I've already got in my mind Closey. So now I'm trying to rework my brain to say Clohesi. All right. Blues fan, how's it going, mate? Thanks for coming on. 23-35. Good stuff. Tim C. over Isaac, holding me back from that top 1% score. Mate, you need a Heaney, mate. You need a Heaney. I'm holding out for a Heaney till the end of round 5. Well, too late. He's too expensive now. $650K. Good luck for that. Freddie, how's it going, mate? Thanks for coming on. Camera getting jealous you had a shower. Bro, if I gave my camera a shower, it'd be waterlogged, and that's not a good. Craze Fit, how's it going? Thanks for coming on, man. Joe, no matter how many showers you have, you ain't washing the Essendon stuff. Mate, it's in my blood. It is what it is. If I cut myself, I bleed red and black. Mostly red, but you get the picture. Hectic Lego, how are you, Habibi? Happy I traded Howes last week, but I'm still stuck with Dawson. Bruv, At this point, you might as well just keep holding him unless you don't have like a steal. Then potentially you could sideways to a steal. But yeah, that's rough, bro. That's rough. If you heard the song, the Dawson song that the Stafford brothers did, you would have traded him out. But now that you've still got him, you got to hold him, I guess. Cheese, how's it going, man? Anyone who hates the Bombers, you have the right to clown us. Yeah, it was embarrassing. It was nothing short of embarrassing. It really was. Friday night, gather round, nowhere to hide, and I wish I could hide. But here I am today. Tiger HQ, don't miss the Meek ticket, mate. The Meek ticket, it's possible. As you would have seen, I'm not against Meek as a selection. The problem is, how do we know that Meek is going to keep playing? All right. I know they say blessed are the meek, but the thing is, how do we know he's going to maintain his spot in the team and whether or not Reeves comes back? Because not like Reeves is injured. If Reeves performs well in the VFL, then he could force his way back into the side. And he scored an 88 against Conway. Reece Stanley wasn't in this game. He scored an 88 on Conway. Like, how can you score only 88 on Conway? I don't understand. Personally, I don't quite get it. So, and why was he not playing to start the season? So, yeah, it's a question mark. Tiger, I'm open to be persuaded otherwise, but I just think I think Rowan Marshall at this current price point is a bit too good for me to pass up. Plus, I'm going to back in my other cash gen around to hopefully try and get me the money to go bananas down the track. Globes, how's it going, my G? Hope those peanuts are looking good. Bryce, how's it going? I'm doing all right. All right. Still a little bit annoyed at the Bombers on Friday, but hey, it's a new week. We overcome it. We move on. And I'm very happy to be joined by all of you wonderful people. 9, yes, Shaz, me too. I got 9 out of 9 in the tipping this week. I think there were a couple of coin tosses, but we managed to get up and get all 9, which was really good. Velo, I think you beat Big J by 3 points. Oh, anytime. Maybe that's why Big J's not on right now. He's trying to collect that composure, trying to face me with a 3-point loss. Globes, I can't believe you cursed out. I'm sorry. Globes, I don't know what it is. I'm somehow capable of cursing people. It's remarkable. But if I had truly cursed him, he wouldn't have come back on the field. But thankfully, he did. And we weren't stuck with like a 24 at halftime. Managed to get up to 87. So in the long run, he'll be good. He'll be good. Don't worry, Globes. I haven't completely cursed him. Unbranded, how's it going? Thanks for coming on. Jonas, Big Sack Heaney deserves a rest this week. Oh, that he does. Brody, Man Bundy, and Homeless Jordan can get dropped off in the middle of the freeway. Which one? The M1? The Monash? Yeah, I agree. That is very bad. Yeah, that's why I already traded out Jordan last week. I almost had a feeling inside. Jordan is not a good. Taylor Adams back, and I thought, you know what? Let's just trade out Jordan. And I'm glad I did because I got Dempsey instead. And Dempsey scored an 80. Darcy scored an 84. So the two rookies did absolutely bellissimo. So, yeah, very happy about that. And Isaac Heaney, for all of you non-owners, you can finally have a week off without having to pull your hair out. Because I can be your Heaney, baby. Yes. Frank Spiteri. How's it going, Frankie? 22.53. Oh, that's a decent score. Had Reed on the bench. Oh, no. That's a little unlucky. That's just a little bit unlucky, Frank. West Coast Eagles rule. G'day, lads. G'day to you, legend. 23.52 this week. So moving in 100%. Well done. Only one way to go, boys. We're going up. We're going up. Up and up. Bryce, 23.12. Cracked the 2300. Well done, Brycey. Ranked 15,823. Never been this close.
What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm late.
Movie.
I was finishing up a movie, and when you get tied into things, it was like you got to finish it to the end, right? But
What
happy
movie?
to be here. Happy to chat some SuperCoach, whatever.
What movie was it?
I was watching Sisu, Sisu. I think it was on either Stan or Binge. Kind of how you would describe it, like Die Hard in World War II is kind of how you would describe it. Set in Finland. So yeah, really, really good good movie, worth the watch. Only about an hour and a half, so you can definitely kind of sit through it, and really fast pace as well.
There you go. All right, boys and girls, we've got ourselves a movie recommendation now. So thank you very much, Big J. For you, Brycey, it depends on your team, bro. But I think, given how many bubble boys we're going to have next week, I think it might be worthwhile bringing in one of those cash cows. I think of the lot, probably one of the safest ones is sounds like Nessie. So Clohessy.
Clossy. So his name's not Clossy. I imagine Kerry Underwood, she gets everyone else's name wrong. Might as well call him Closet or something. Oh, Closet's doing well. You know, he's out on the field, you know, out of the closet. Mate, she's shocking. She needs to get fired, that woman. I'm all for equal opportunity, but mate, like, I can't even joke.
All right, boys, it's going to turn into a Kelly Underwood. Kelly Underwood.
Did you see her commentating on the weekend? Like it's the biggest like show and watch of the whole season, a bit outside of the grand final series, and she couldn't even pronounce people's names properly.
It's crazy, and it's so funny when you see her trying to he gets the goal, like she has like the vinyl record like cuts off and. It's
like West Coast's first time they're winning a quarter since like in 2014. I'm like, what? She couldn't say Condon right. Apparently, we've got Green Levi or something playing for North Melbourne now. And
there is a team name in my league called Kelly Under My Wood. Oh no, Joe.
Done. It's pretty funny.
Undies is useless and BT is worse. Not sure how they have jobs. Well, BT comes from a football background. He played the game, so it sort of makes sense. You see a lot of these ex-players come back, roaming Brian, big personality. Who knows how long, who knows how much money he's on. So for them to cut him might be a pretty big mullah sacrifice for breach of contract. So
I've heard from some people that he's got some high friends, some friends in high places at the moment as well. So, can't really cut the favorite child, as they say.
Why do you complain, Big J? She does all of West Coast's games.
Mate, she did North Melbourne's game on the weekend. I think she just picks the teams that no one watches. So that's it, really.
Potentially. Timmy, how's it going? Looks like I had the highest score in your group this week. Well done. Well done.
And then Nathan's posting here. He's got a 24.57, Joe. Bloody hell. Got 33rd overall. I said to people, I haven't looked to see what the highest score is this week. I'll just have a look. But I said to people there's going to be some 25, 20-plus scores. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, highest score this week was 2548. Joe? Let that sink in. 2548.
2548.
Yeah, and they had Howes on field.
Wow.
Howes and Darcy Wilson, like, holy moly, yeah.
Did they have every premium that went over 150 this week?
They got, so who went big? They have, and they even have, like, Sicily, who obviously didn't score that well. So they got Petrarca, Libba, Green, Connor Rosie.
Oh,
nice.
And
Heaney. And Heaney as their
of course.
Big scorers. Yeah, and Sharp, obviously, on field. But, yeah. Bit of a difference between the good and the bad. They didn't even captain Heaney when Petrarca won 40 instead. So, yeah, they somehow had Closey too. Mate. Yeah,
Closey.
Going to turn up and down and all around. Bloody Closey, closet.
2187 for Shaz. That's not too bad, Shaz. It's okay. It could have been what? Oh wait, is it 2187 or 2159? Which one? You're giving us two different numbers, Shannon. Which one is it? Freddie, can you trade LDU or just cop it and hold?
Well, how much is he? Let's quickly check out how much he is.
I think you just got to I think he just got to cop it and hold at this point almost. He's now down to 500. And let me just change our camera angles. He's 564.
Yeah. It's an interesting one at this point. So last week, I think, was the week that you really had to come in and actually properly trade him. At the moment, it's it's a bit of a rough one, really. You have a look at it, and it's like, cool. Does he lose some money? Probably. He might end up at sub 500k, which would be hilarious. I mean, not hilarious for you guys, but would be pretty funny to be able to pick him up at like 450k. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's disinterest. I don't know if he's injured. I don't think he's injured. I haven't heard anything like from the club saying, hey, he's injured. I think just North Melbourne have just been getting smashed. And yeah, he just hasn't been playing as well. Maybe it's even like a Tristan Cherry thing where like Cherry's not passing him the ball as much as he is other people. Yeah.
But on the flip side, he's been playing terribly, right? He's been looking. Everything you've said is 100% correct, right? And yet, he's still averaging 95. Imagine if he turns it around.
Yeah.
He's in the role. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's completely dropped off the face of the planet and he's now, like, you know, not got the role anymore. Luke Davies Zuniac. How many CBAs is he getting still? Like, as long as he's getting bulk CBAs, which he is, 88%, 89%.
I mean, he can't play anywhere else.
This is his role. He I don't know. He's gonna have to turn it around. And I think at this point, you've already lost so much money. You might as well just hold on to him and really hope in bank that he will sort it out, I think. Will the Stafford Bros sing about Grundy or Jordan this week? I don't know. I don't think we've got it in this year.
Yeah, I haven't really heard anything since the last one. I don't know if we tell the fans what happened with YouTube copyright Joe, but yeah, that was a bit of fun.
Tell them. Yeah, you can tell them. That's all right.
If the Stafford brothers are on, we got flagged for copyright for your song about Dawson, I think it was.
Yes, it was the Dawson song.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just kind of, we played it, and then YouTube was like, mate, why are you playing unlicensed music? And I'm like, we can't. It's not unlicensed. It's done by our fans on the show. So yeah, pretty.
You guys are that good. You guys are that good. These Stafford boys are so good. It even got us demonetized, thinking that it was the real thing. That's how good they are. Oh my god, unreal. Trav, you can't. I know, Travis. I know. I feel dumber. I feel so stupid backing the boys to beat Port last week. That was so bad. Jacoda, how's it going? First time reading a comment from you.
That's a bloody amazing score. Congratulations.
He's up and up and up. He's flying. Look at Meek's efficiency in the Geelong game. We shall. Let's have a look at Lloyd Meek's efficiency in the Geelong game. Let's see. What?
Lloyd Meek, story of our life, kind of player of the last 5 seconds. CBA max.
58%, 56 or is that 58? 56% disposal efficiency. Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah. So I think they're saying, hey, look, he went up to 72 last game and scored a 130. What's to say he scores like a 70% efficiency? Yeah, there's something to be said about it. It's a tricky one. A lot of us don't have a lot of this money to come in and start throwing things around. And at what point, cool, you got Lloyd Meek. What does it really open up for you? You've got a huge risk. I mean, I don't think Ned Reeves is going to come in and take him out of the spot, but there's a huge risk against him. He's not playing crappy rucks, I think, for the next little while. And yeah, yes, the money is great, but at the moment, you're spending a trade to get, 150k out of Grundy? Like, it's not the best. I'd rather just upgrade and say, cool, I've got to set, 120, 130 every week out of an English or even a Marshall at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't get much harder than Jared
last time they played, he scored 5 points.
Imagine you trade in Meek and he gives you 5 points again. Oh, that would be rough. That would be rough. It's not going to happen, obviously, but yeah, I mean, he's got Meek. He's got Wits next week, Sherry, Grundy, English, Marshall, Soldo, Big O, Rob, Briggs, Nank, before finally hitting West Coast again in round 16. So it's not look, obviously the money that you save from getting a Meek, you can put in other places. For me, I'm just going to save a trade.
If I go Meek, it like allows me to finish off my midfield. Like that's how much money it is. But in the long run, you're doing a crazy thing at the moment, I think.
Chief, does the Ross Lyon press conference scare you about Marshall though? Now I'm not afraid of that because I'm pretty sure Campbell's has been named a lot of times in the last couple of years, and he still just doesn't get named. So I'm not concerned.
You have to put him on there just in case. If you don't have a ruckman as an emergency, you're in a bit of trouble because if something happens, you could just not have a ruckman for a game.
Correct. So Campbell is going to be forever stuck in the VFL, and Ross Lyon can't say that about his player. He's going to say, yeah, we'll look into playing him eventually at some point. So that doesn't really scream danger that he's going to bring him in this week. We'll look into it at some point. That is as vague as it possibly can get, Chase. So I'm not concerned about that at the moment. Velo, I see Roma dropping price again this week, and then he will be ripe for the picking. I mean, you could, but I don't see why I would cop a donut in the ruck with a Grundy there when I could just go for Marshall. His break-even's 120, so it's not like it's the lowest, but he's projected a 123, and Briggsy hasn't been performing very well this year, unfortunately. So you never know. Marshall could do okay, and he's had a very good game last week when he went 147, and then he's got obviously now Briggs here, and then he's got Marshall. He is Marshall. He's then got English. So look, I think it starts to open up for Marshall, and at 605k, I think it's pretty damn good at this point.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's a tricky one. I think from Grundy, you're probably getting 100 average out of him. And for the quality of players at the moment, I don't think the ceiling's there. Grundy had a big game round 0, and Joe always talks to me off air about, Grundy went big when Gawn wasn't playing. And he went big when Gawn was playing. But ever since then, his scoring's not been the best. I just don't think the ceiling's there. And cool, you spend a trade, but you probably earn like 20 points every week, and that shit adds up very, very quickly.
100%. And look at his 3-round average. His 3-round average of 93, 114, 99.
Not great.
What is that for an average? I mean, let me just bring this calculator over
98
here.
or something?
99 plus 114 plus 93 divided by 3. 102. 102 is not going to cut the mustard in the ruck line this year. Not when you've got players like Gawn, English, Marshall. These guys at the moment are putting on, 114 average for Marshall. He's beating him pretty damn comfortably here. So I'm not a happy chappy.
And if you had Max Gawn, obviously Max Gawn scoring the last couple of weeks has been bloody fantastic as well. So if you don't have him, try and bring him in. Even English, 150 odd break even. Tim English is on fire, mate. So it's rough when you don't own these players. And I think there's certain times in SuperCoach when us that don't have a lot of boosts can make trades like this and basically lock in the best player in a position. You probably won't get a time that often throughout the season. Cool. Marshall maybe loses 10k. English maybe loses 20 or 30k. But I just don't think there's going to be that many times throughout the season where you've got a free spot. The player's not even playing. You don't have to toss up between that. And realistically, there's no real players on the bubble this week. So, it's the perfect time because you don't have to bring anyone in. We don't have to make trades. All the Gold Coast boys aren't, on the bubble. Combin's not on the bubble. So, if you've got a spare trade and 200k, make it happen. Otherwise, you are going to get left behind later on in the season, I think.
Yeah. Blues fan got my gov over Witt. At least chose the best injury-prone defender by the looks of it.
Yeah. Bloody hell, it really sucks because I got Whitfield and I was really happy until the game. And then halfway through the second, he kind of copies like a head knock almost. And yeah, was out for a little while there. So came back with the 87. We're very happy. If he played that quarter, I think he would have probably dropped to 115 anyway. So like it just sucks for this week. But I think he's playing in a much better team. The only thing with McGovern is as we've spoken about and as we've heard, he's taking all the kickouts, right? So that definitely has a big bolster in terms of scoring for him. And intercepts, obviously, he's like a gun defender when he's actually fit.
Oh, yeah. But there's always a risk that he could be pushed forward. And they were talking a lot about it during the game.
Yeah.
McGovern 113, 2 contested marks,
Yeah, like if you had picked McGovern and Yo down back, probably you wouldn't have picked McGovern. But if you had picked Yo down back, I think you would be very, very happy at the moment.
Yeah, congratulations to those people who went there. I couldn't have it in me. Tom Gamble's not playing this week, Globes, don't you? If Tom Campbell plays this week, then I'll go Meek, if that's the case. But otherwise, Marshall's in my team. Trav, I'm so glad you're not on Neil. Guy only played 2 and 5 minutes of the third quarters and looked awesome. Yeah, because if I was on Neil, I would have cursed him and stuffed him up for you, Travis. So anytime, mate. You're very welcome. He was playing North.
He played North Melbourne. Like my left shoe would have been okay against North Melbourne at the moment. We are shocking. We're going to get the number 1 pick again. I can straight up say it now. Unless something drastic comes in and changes and we get some really good players mid-year or something happens, right? We do have potentially 3 spots mid-year, which is fantastic. But like the players just don't look happy. I don't know what it is. And we've seen kind of LDU falling off, and even Tom Powell the last couple of weeks as well. Like he's not been pumping out 100. It's tough.
He has not. And this guy is the reason why Powell did not do so well, because he was going head-to-head with him, and this guy's way too good. He was too busy trying to tackle him.
Clarko said, hey, look, I'd rather have you play and like learn against Lockie Neal versus like trying to play your game this week. So yeah. It says something, but it's not great.
Flag Pies, how's it going? G'day, Joe. Glad I held on to your boy, Nicky Martin. Massive's out for me this week, though. Yeah, well done. For all the people who still hold Nick Martin, had more faith, had all the faith in the world, and it's absolutely paying you back in droves. The guy is... Yeah, but nah, man. Nick Martin's top 6. Nick Martin's top 6 for sure. If he's pumping out those scores in that ridiculous role, he doesn't even need to find the ball. The ball finds him. It's ridiculous. He doesn't even try. And the ball just ends up in his hands. I mean, he's had another 35 disposal game on top of a 44 and a 31. Like, he's just got the ball on a string, and a lot of it comes down to, look at his time on ground. 92%, 96%, 97%. He's got a ridiculous engine that allows him to just run all day. And look at his heat map. Look at his heat map.
Yep.
He's just roaming the ground.
They just look for him as well. Like last week was the big anomaly, right? I'm going to say that word again. But people were saying, oh, he needs 44 touches to get a 133. No, he doesn't. Like he had 35 touches this week and only did the same thing. So it is just the game how it was played last week. But I think Essendon's backline is turning a little bit like Freo's, whereas a lot of chip mark passes, a lot of trying to switch the ball and things like that. And Nick Martin just running straight out of that halfback really definitely works out well for him, Joe.
And unfortunately, Jordan Ridley is going to be out for a little bit longer than we hoped. So I don't see this role changing anytime soon. Nick Martin, oh man, I would have held on to him if I didn't need to get Sheasel, but I had to get Sheasel in ASAP. So if you still hold him, like you, Flag Pies, well done. You are living life to the fullest. Aussie, how's it going? Jackson and Grundy to Martin Marshall, or 2, Jordan and Howes to Clossy and Young. 3, Jordan and Grundy to Martin and Meek. I like option 1. Wait, Jackson. No, not Jackson. Oh, wait. Jackson is out. Jackson could have lower scores this week because Sean Darcy's back this week.
I would wait on Jackson, to be honest. I think he plays much more of a better role. And yes, he does do some stuff through the midfield as a ruckman, but he also just plays midfield as well. And it kind of is a decent role. I think his break even's a little bit higher, considering he didn't score didn't score that great last week. But I mean, I would hold him at least one more week. I think if it gets you Martin and Marshall, though, potentially, I'm not a big fan of Meek. That's kind of my feeling at the moment. You can do it, but I don't know.
So it's either 1 or 2. So it's either 1 or 2. Jordan and Howes to Clossy and Young. Because Howes' break even isn't particularly low. He's up to 55 now for the break even.
Yeah. I think it's the last week of that 28 being in his system as well. So once that goes, he's going to end up being able to score. Like, he's going to jump up in price again. So when was that? Was that round 2?
No,
that was even last week. So you hold Howes for 2 more weeks. He's made you 100K. He's not worth it trading out. And then in 2 weeks, if he keeps up with like the 40s and 50s scores, he's going to make you another, 30, 40, 50K. Like, he's not the worst player a lot of us have on field at the moment.
Yeah, but in 2 weeks, we'll be on the bye. You know what? I don't mind you trading out Howes now.
Flip him at the bye. It's fine.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, but if it allows him to get a Hayden Young in over a Jordan, then I think it could be worth it.
Yeah, maybe.
Hayden Young's looking really good. He's looking really good, Aussie. Either 1 or 2, I think, for me. Whatever, I suppose, floats your boat. So there you go. Skits, how's it going? Thanks for joining us, mate. Jonas, who's this Charlie Condom fellow at 227K? Does he provide the protection your SuperCoach team needs?
Oh. Mate,
he's protecting North Melbourne's backside.
Kelly Underwood's alt account. Tell you what.
He's protecting North Melbourne at the moment.
Backline. Yeah.
No one's being impregnated over there, so you never know. It could work. 94% time on ground. That's very impressive.
Well, he's playing defense. Like, it's not like he's running up and down. I'm running up and down.
Ooh, look at this hate map. He's playing deep in defense. He's
playing key defender. I don't know where you want him else to play. I mean, he could be fantastic for us in the back line. Like,
it says forward pocket here. Forward pocket.
No, what a joke. Someone's made a blunder there. That is not forward pocket. that is not forward pocket.
Does this heat map not scream forward pocket to you? Come on, man. This is clearly forward pocket.
We know what it is. It's because he was named in the team sheets at forward pocket. That's why. On the team sheets, he was forward
Is that
pocket.
what the TS stands for?
Yeah.
You've just told me I've never known what the TS stood for.
Yeah, it's what the team sheet says. Yeah. So he was named at forward pocket.
God, I've learned something new today.
Wherever he played, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So there you go, fellas. TS stands for team sheets. I did not know that. I've been using this website so much, and yet I've never known it's a team sheets. Wow. But yeah, Combin looks good. I'm giving him another week, and if he does well, we bring him in next week, Jonas. It is what it is.
Yeah. It looks good. North Melbourne's crying out for a key defender. You don't bring him in one round, but we're crying out for a key defender, and it could work out very well for us. So, yeah, just wait to see. I think a little bit.
It is a bit early, Trav, but there's a few people next week on the bubble that we want to get in, and I just don't want to use a boost in order to do so. I want to get one in, and the one that I have the most trust in is Clossy, as Craze Fit is telling us. Clossy. I want to go with Clossy. All right.
The thing is,
and then next week, yeah.
Sorry, Joe. Keep going.
Go for it. You know what you're saying?
The thing is, right, there's 3 players at a minimum that we should be looking at for next week. Clossy, I'm going to say Clossy because it sounds like closet. Will Graham and probably Comben as our 3 players we're looking at for next week. Next week, we might just have to double downgrade and spend a boost and upgrade somewhere else. So, yeah, it's something to look at, but you can't bring everyone in and upgrade your team at the same time. Do you see his post here, Joe? Did Comben do kickouts? Trying to just have a look.
That's exactly what I'm going to go look at, actually. North Melbourne. North. Nah.
No kickouts.
Nah.
Just lots of intercepts and lots of tackles and everything else. So, yeah, Comben played on Hipwood and did quite well. So, yeah, I mean, if he throws a couple of kickouts in there and whatever happens, it would be interesting. I don't think Aiden Call plays much, and I really hope he's not in the team next week. Like, he just looks dead, and I'd rather them not play him. So, yeah, Velo says here, Comben was the target for the kick-ins. So maybe it was kick to Comben, and then Comben booted it out. So, yeah, I know, Joe, I was kind of floating some ideas for next week's trades. Currently, I've got Nick Martin in my team, and Grundy still playing, but fluffing things around, I really think that Comben could be an option, especially for us that have Sexton in their team. I don't think Sexton's coming back. So potentially a Comben to Sexton swap for what, 40 odd K could end up getting us another player who can at least play on the field for a while.
What about this guy? Are we going to get this guy in anytime soon?
Mate, this guy is going to come and play for North Melbourne next year. He's done. He's no longer going to play on the Dogs. They've got him for the next, 20-odd rounds, and then I think he's out of the team. So, yeah, pick up Jack McRae at 250K if you don't mind.
I'm really keen, actually. He's a really good player. Frank, do I bring in Marshall or Steele this week?
It's a tricky one. I think we've been punished, Frank, already, or we punished but also saved by not having Jack Steele in our teams and Jack Steele not actually going up that much in money. I think this week, yes, the contested game is going to be a bit tough, but that low break even means that he's going to be over 600K. He's going to go up. I think Marshall goes down in price a little bit this week. So if you have to pick one, I think Steele's the one. The guy could end up being a top player. It's a tough one. So I if I had to choose, I think it would be Marshall for me. And that's why I've kind of got him in my plans at the moment.
Wait.
Sorry, not Marshall.
Steele.
Steele. Sorry. Forget that. Pick Steele. Steele's good. Going to go up in price this week. Low break even. So
did I have a Pikachu face moment there for a second?
I think my brain had a bit of a Pikachu face moment.
He's just got all that.
I was talking about Marshall, but in my brain I was like, "Oh, Steele's cheap. Let's get Steele in." And yeah, it didn't compute very well.
I mean, tough matchup coming up against the Giants. He also had a pretty favorable start to the year. Collingwood didn't really have anyone contested. Essendon.
Who's been taking the contests, the Ruck contest with Marshall? Can you check?
Yeah, of course. All right. We'll go next tab. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Machito Owens. I mean, who else do we anticipate?
Thought we'd have a look and see what they say.
Ruck contest.
They get your ad block, Joe.
I probably do, but St Kilda. And yeah, Kama this week had 30%. Wow.
So Machito Owens, really nothing. Kama, he keeps him in the team, which is what they need. They need someone to keep playing. So yeah, maybe that changes things, maybe not. But that's partly why Marshall has such a high scoring efficiency as well, because he takes it, he can run, he can tackle, he can kick, mark, and things like that. So yeah, there's no real number 2 for him versus some of these other players.
Why was he so tired if he wasn't rucking much?
Oh, it was probably just a tough game. The guy scored 140. Like, come on, man.
He had 90% CBAs.
Yeah.
For 65% ruck contests?
Yeah, so he played basically all the bounces in the middle, but then Camo must have taken some ones in the forward line or something like that, yeah?
Look at this heat map. That's a ruckman, baby. He's got a big foot here in the middle of the ground. A big foot.
There you go.
So,
He's
yeah,
from
I'm happy. He's Italiano. Roma Tomato. Yes. Yeah, sorry, I saw that already. Blues planning on getting Martin back. Yes, I know, not ideal. Do you think his role could change to potentially fix Essendon's woes?
No.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault that we've got defensive woes. Our woes are higher up the ground, Blues fan.
Yep.
Our woes are our midfield doesn't run both ways. We've got a whole team worth of downhill skiers outside of Zach Merritt. That's it. And it has to come from higher up the ground. Nick Martin is not going to be improving our defensive structure. He's meant to be an offensive type player. He's in that role, and I think that role is here to stay, Blues fans. So bring him in with confidence. He's going to go bananas this week.
It's like saying North Melbourne gets a lot of goals scored on them. So we're going to move Harry Sheasel from the back line to now playing as a forward. Like, it kind of, they're not mutually exclusive, if that makes sense. So I think Nick Martin's there to say, and we've spoken about Hind and how Hind basically hasn't played as much, and he's basically stolen what was Nick Hind's role, right? So, yeah, get Nick Martin in either this week or next week. I don't know what his break even is at the moment. Let me just quickly check. But yeah, 3 round average.
It's like 30.
Very, very good.
It's 30 something. It's really low.
Yeah, he's going to jump up in money.
Oh, yeah.
35. 35. But he's only projected to go up 30K. So even if he scores what? 110. Okay. He goes up by 30K. So
he's going to score more than
Nick
that.
Martin's 560 next week. If you had to choose between him and Steele, I'd probably be picking up Steele this week.
He's going to score more than 110 this week.
You reckon?
I mean, he's got the Bulldogs this week, and the Bulldogs, if we go to AFL...
They're not the most accurate player, but how does it work against half-back players, right?
I'm pretty sure they give up quite a bit of points to half-backers. If we go to Western Bulldogs... Yeah, they give up a bit more. I thought it would be a bit more than that, but I don't know.
Richmond love half-back players. Holy moly.
When do we play Richmond? Quickly check. When do we play Richmond?
Right. If it's next week after this game, it's Richmond. Bloody hell.
100%. Josh, how's it going? Is it viable to trade Jackson? Cash is king, and I think his price has topped out, and I want to cash him out.
Well, if that's the case, then 100% do it. Like, you can pay 100K and get English this week. Or pay like 20K and get Marshall, who you know are probably going to be top 3 in their position. If that's what you're looking for, fantastic. If you want to do it a bit crazier, you can totally go and throw some, I think it's 60K to go to Zach Merritt and like 70 or 80K to go to Petrarca, who's also smashing like the living shit out of everything. So yeah, that'd be the way to go. I think upgrade, don't downgrade. Because you want to keep the fact that you've got a keeper on field. You don't want to downgrade. And that's the problem with my team at the moment is I've traded Young, traded Nick Martin, done all these crazy things. And then like the number of actual keepers on fields really hurt. Yeah. And that's something to consider as well. For everyone in chat who is considering Luke Jackson going out. I mean, it's only 60 of you guys, so maybe some other people will hear this on when they rewatch the live stream. But look at our forward line. Look at who's really available. We're not going to get that many forward DPP premiums this year. It's not like last year where we started a whole bunch. Luke Jackson playing ruck and playing forward could still end up being a top 6 forward. So he's going to have spike games. You don't know what they're going to do with Sean Darcy. I'd at least wait the week and say, hey, look, Sean Darcy might end up being the sub this week or subbed out after like the first quarter. How shit would you feel if that's what ended up happening? So, yeah. It hurts not owning him. The guys that owned Luke Jackson to start the season, Joe, I'm pretty sure they're all like top like 1,000 or pretty close, unless they had like shocking teams. So yeah, just be wary. Our forward line is probably the worst position and our last upgraded position on field. So, yeah, you can hold him and be pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
He's going to lose like 20K. He's not going to lose that much.
Timmy, with so many one gamers scoring well, do we go early on 2 this week?
I wouldn't do 2, Timmy. I would probably go 1. I think Closey's the one. I think it seems like he's pushed a few of these other players out, and potentially is partly why Tuke Miller didn't score that well. Tuke Miller's been relegated again to kind of a managing other players type role. I think he was playing a little bit on Tom Green, and yeah, he kind of just, the scoring's too good for him. He's the one I want in this week. Graham potentially combo next week, I think. You can leave Reed. I don't think Reed's going to be that much of a player.
Yeah, this is classic.
Wingman, but he was getting a lot of the ball through the middle as well.
Don't expect this type of scoring from him every week, I'll just say. But the good thing is 92% time on ground is really impressive. The longer you're out there, the more chance you have of getting your hands on the footy. So I like him. I think if you were to go early on one of them, it's probably this guy. And he's not young. He's 21 years old. So it's not like his body's going to break down on him. Zach, how's it going? Hey, lads, do I trade Grundy to English or Jordan? To one of track, but is also wrong. And if so, which one? Jordan to track.
Yeah. If you had to do it, I would spend the boost and go English to Grunt, like Grundy to English and Jordan to track. That'd be the way 100% I would do it. But if you had to choose, life depended on it, Jordan to track. Track is phenomenal. I think I said to Joe off air, like, look at how many games at MCG he has next. It's a lot. And he scores very, very well. And I think someone either posted in chat or commented on one of our videos recently, Joe, about Oliver potentially having a new role as well, which has kind of led to his poorer scoring. And we know he's got that hand thing happening as well. So yeah, track is definitely in my trade plans. I think next week I go Zach Merritt. And then the week after Petrarca's bye, I bring in Petrarca because you need these players. Petrarca post-bye has, I think he's playing, so it's round 4 now, so we're going into round 5. I had a look at it. He plays 7 games that are not at MCG. And one of them is against West Coast. Like, shit's going to go off. Petrarca's going to go massive. Look at that. Look how many MCGs there are. He plays West Coast twice, Joe. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's only the fact that he's got the bye next week. I hope Brisbane can hold him down a little bit. Drops a little bit in cash. I don't think it will happen.
A break even of 140 as well. You know what? Get Zach Merritt first. Get Zach Merritt first.
Yeah. But you need Petrarca post-bye. Round 7, sell the thumb. I'm even considering Tom Powell to Petrarca. Like, that's how much I want Petrarca in my team. You need to load the mids. I had the conversation with someone on the chat the other day, or even today if you're watching, about it. And you must have these guys on field. Like, the forwards are probably going to be around 500K. The defenders are probably going to be around 550K. Your mids, your 650K mids, spend the farm to get them in. Like, we're having so many good rookies that are scoring so well that, like, look at Tom Powell compared to Sean Darcy on Joe's field at the moment. If you sell Tom Powell and put Sean Darcy on field this week, you would not feel bad about it. Obviously, he's not going to score that every week, but when your forward primos who aren't like Flanders and Heaney are scoring comparatively to your more premium players on field, you can sell those premium players on field and get him in there. If Tom Powell becomes a keeper, cool. I flip Cadman and Buku Kamas to Tom Powell in a couple of weeks. Like, the money is going to be comparable to be able to get these guys in. But you can't do a one-up, one-down to get Petrarca in your team. So you have to do it.
But if you're going to get one, Zach, get Zach Merritt in. He doesn't have the bye now, whereas Petrarca does have the bye. Yeah. And I've been talking about Zach Merritt from the preseason as someone that you need to get and that you need to have a plan in order to get him in your team. And if you've got the funds to facilitate getting Zach Merritt in, his break-even's 115. And the way he's going freaking ridiculous. 127, 132, 131, 136. And his fixture starts to open up.
Where we 100% spoke about it too, right? We were like, Zach Merritt, round 5, whatever. Zach Merritt, round 1. I don't know how we didn't start Zach Merritt, but damn. Yeah, Nathaniel.
There was someone
100% has the buy, and that's why we're saying round 7 pick him up.
Yeah. So someone was telling me, "Oh, Zach Merritt's not going to be a top 8 midfielder." Sure.
Yeah.
He's going to be top 4. You're right. The way he's going.
Yeah.
He's going to be top 4 midfield. So
and check it. Even have a look at his projected scores. Like scroll down. His projected scores. So like obviously they might not be perfect, but look at that projected scoring. If you're paying $650K for this player, mate, you're laughing. So you've got 2 more weeks of not owning it. You have to get Merritt in next week. You've got 2 more weeks of no Zach Merritt. Otherwise, you're cooked.
Otherwise, season over.
Potentially. It's scary to say that, but potentially season over. Like, how sad is that? Cool, my season's over. I don't own Zach Merritt. Like, gosh darn it, mate.
Hi, guys. Got a good score, and I think the early weeks of using plenty of rookies and upgrading to 2090. Very nice. Let's hope for more to come. 100%, mate. 100%. Velo, I'm thinking of trading Mass and Kobe out for Klossy and Nick Martin. What do you think? Kobe McKercher on the chopping block for Velo.
I think, like in my team, I've played around with doing it. I think there's probably a week left of Massimo and Colby McKercher scoring, though. So if you can make it happen, then sure. But like I look at my team and I've still got Sam Berry and stuff that need to go. If that's your best thing to do this week, I think you can do it, Velo. If your team's in a much better position, I don't think Massimo hurts you that much. I think the Hawks have kind of faded him out a little bit if you look at his scoring over the last couple of weeks. Yes, he scored a 63, and last week he kind of scored, I think, a little bit better. But he just doesn't look there at all. Sicily's come back with a vengeance a little bit. Massimo's been on like 20 points at halftime. Like, come on, man. This is not a
And then he spends 20 minutes on the bench in the last quarter.
Exactly. Like, what's happening there? So, yeah, definitely not not a favorable player. Sanders, I think not Sanders. I think McKercher give it potentially 1 week. Just with like him maybe moving to the midfield or not. This week was a shocking game on his part, like 40% disposal efficiency or something. So it's not what we see normally. I think there's a little bit more money to make out of McKercher than Massimo. And unfortunately, we're not even going to get 150K out of both, which really kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the question just becomes, is McKercher going to have this role?
Which is the hard bit.
That's the hard bit, right? Because as long as he's playing half back, you know, he's obviously getting the ball. Yep. He's getting more marks. Not a single mark on the weekend playing in the midfield. It's a different beast playing midfield as opposed to half back. It's entirely different. As long if McKercher goes back to half back, now they were playing on the smallest ground in the entire galaxy at Norwood. So, you know, I can understand if he struggled to get the ball off half back and they put him around the ball in the midfield to sort of give him some exposure, but it's obviously really tough against a rampaging Brisbane Lions side. So if he's back to half back playing at GMHBA Stadium, which is a long ground, it is again narrow. Hopefully he plays half back. If he's persisting in this CBA role, then yeah, I reckon you could trade him out. And his break even isn't particularly high. It's up to 43. So, you know, if he has another shocking game playing in the midfield in a very unfriendly role for him, then yeah, I mean, you could trade him out.
Yeah, I think you'd be hoping that this week he wasn't named in the middle. He's going to be named down back, and that like he doesn't get stuck getting a lot of CBAs. I think North Melbourne's in a weird position, man. We said it all year, right? The game's fluid, the team's fluid. It's not great.
Flag pies brought in like,
but potentially even Comben taking some of McKercher's time off halfback because he's not being used as like a distributor. So, yeah.
Crouch potato is truly an awful kick of the football. Yeah, well, that's what. But he's very good with his hands, Jonas. He's very good with his hands. So he sticks to what he's good at. And it's a good thing he does for all of the owners out there, because if he was kicking more, then his scoring will not be as good.
Flake Pie, it's the one thing, like Tom Brown's 90 odd really sucks. That you're going to get an extra week of cash generation out of Draper. So maybe that evens out a little bit. Draper's in a tough position because Freo need a lot of backmen. And the week before he did score that 68. So maybe things look up for him a little bit. But last week, Tom Brown was the ticket, unfortunately. You'll just get like one cash prize out of Tom Brown and then a buy. So yeah, it's not great.
Josh, also thoughts on trading in Meek for Grundy and bank the cash instead of upgrading, because over the next 2 weeks, I want to get in the likes of Merritt and Dawson or LDU or Clary. I think for me, I'm going to be using my 4th boost next week to get Zach Merritt in. And it will be a double down 1 up, I think. So for me, I think that's on the cards. And hopefully then I might be able to then hopefully double down 1 up, use my last boost to get in Petrarca. I don't know if it's going to be doable, but I'm really hoping then I'll be out of boosts, which is probably a record for me. Probably a record almost across the entire competition to be out of boosts come round 7. But I think that's what I have to do if I'm going to get in these top dogs.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? The big thing is you look at Lloyd Meek, like this is probably going to be career defining for you in SuperCoach this year.
Oh,
getting Lloyd Meek in now is going to be like the people that didn't get Grundy in or didn't get Gawn in when Gawn was cheap and then went massive. Like the people that didn't get like English in but then kept other players. Like I don't know if the 150K is worth it that much. Like maybe Lloyd Meek becomes a keeper. Cool. Like that's kind of what you're paying for at the moment. He's going to go up in price. He might be 450K. But you've spent 1 trade to bring him in. You spent another trade to bring him in. If he doesn't end up keeping up this level of scoring, like you've spent 2 trades and probably 150K to trade him to a keeper. It's like me with James Jordan, bringing him out, getting some money, going up like 80K, and then James Jordan shitting the bed. The last 2 weeks have been fantastic for Lloyd Meek. Don't get me wrong. Like they've been the biggest thing ever. But I don't know if it's sustainable. And it's not like Lloyd Meek is 200K. He's not the Briggs that we've had like last year, Joe. You get these 500K players, you bring in Briggs. It's not like that. I just don't know if it's sustainable or not. That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, as Travis says here, Meek has played Conway and Cameron, hardly anything to write home about. But like, he did look really good.
Oh, of course.
On the weekend
that's why you're
against Collingwood.
He looks good.
He looked really good. He played a great game, won a lot of CBAs. And another thing that really is good about him is that he had 87% TOG and he had 88% TOG the week before that.
Yeah.
So he's showing that he's got a tank, which is really impressive.
It's going to define your season. Whatever you decide to do this week is going to define your season.
Oh, so the trades this week are not easy. The trades this week are not easy. This week, it really, as you say, it is a make or break season. And the only way you will know if the trades you're making really are the good ones will only come with hindsight. Unfortunately, it's either going to be an absolute masterclass or it's going to be a disaster class. So
we're going to hear people in the chat saying, "Gosh, Lloyd Meek scored a 40 this week. I wish I had kept English or gone up with Grundy or done something." Like, it could 100% happen for you guys. You're not bringing in someone who's a keeper. You're not bringing someone who's in super cheap. Like, it's a really tough week, guys. And we can't say that. Like, that's why my team isn't highly ranked and my Joe's team's not highly ranked, but your teams might be. Like, really, really tough week of SuperCoach.
Not highly ranked for now. We're climbing. We're climbing.
It's a long season, but this week there's like Jack Steele who's cheap, Lloyd Meek who's cheap, even Nick Martin who's cheap, Hayden Young who's cheap. Like, there's a lot of these players.
Look, Velo, I mean, Reeves did not look good initially, but then again, as you say, what happens if Meek has a couple of down games and then all of a sudden all right, Reeves, you're in, because they're not going to play both of them at the same time. It's one or the other, and they're both competing. And Reeves is healthy. He's playing VFL. If he's dominating in VFL, you never know. He might get a call up. So, yeah, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one. And it's hard for us to say it right now definitively at this stage which one is the correct one. I guess it just comes down to what your risk tolerance is. I think at this stage, if you are willing to just go for it, full send it, then we're not gonna hold you back. We're really not. It's your team, your game. You play it your way. Go your own way.
I would probably say on top of that as well, if you haven't come out and spent as many trades early as what Joe and I have, I think doing the Meek trade is probably less risk than what we are. Because sure, we can bring in a couple more players with the, and like 150k is not that much, really. But we can bring in a couple more players. It's more just if you can shoulder the risk. If you bring in Meek, right? Cool. It could be Meek plus like another player on field to get a premium back in. So,
yeah, fair enough. Maltesing, the problem with LDU is that everyone else is going 130 plus. I got rid of him last week and glad I did. 3 years in a row, and he has burnt me. He's on your never again list by the sounds of things, Maltesing.
And that's where Joe did the same thing with Jordan Dawson a couple of weeks ago, right? And I think there was a couple of other players. If we look at these cheaper guys, give me one sec. In our midfield, highest price. So this is why you pick up Steele now, because he's on the opposite. But a lot of people still have Dawson. A lot of people still have LDU. A few other people have some cheaper players. And it's just like, mate, even Clayton Oliver, I think I saw someone in chat or in on Facebook today, like, oh, what happened? Did you keep Oliver? And it's like, these guys at some point you have to jump off because you started them as keepers. Like, get rid of them now. If you have to bring them in later, fantastic. But we've been advocating, jump on the guys who are still going up in price while you can. It's really, really tough. It sucks. It really sucks. I hate it. I hate it. We traded out Nick Martin and Hayden Young. Like, we understand the pain of keeping LDU team. But if you don't pull the trigger, you're going to end up now, cool, well, I could have started this player. I could have traded. I'm now 200 points behind.
Yep.
Like, that is worth a trade in 50K. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's one thing to say back in your primos, right? So you can't say just back in your primos to come around. There's another that's saying, oh, they're underperforming for the price, got to get rid of them. And we've seen both sides of it. If you traded out LDU and Dawson at the start, then you were rewarded. But if you traded out Nick Martin and Hayden Young at the start, then you're not rewarded. So there is no one rule. Every case is to be judged on its own merits. And so, yeah, I mean, if you were lucky, like I had a win and a loss. I had a win trading out Dawson, but I had some losses trading out Martin and Young. So like, you can't predict these sorts of things.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, as Abs has said on on Twitter, make sure that you bring in someone who's going to be top of their position. If you're getting rid of LDU, make sure you bring in a top 8 player, because if you don't, it's not beneficial for you to do it. Make sure you bring in a top 8. That's all I'm going to say.
Also, I also don't know whether I want Marshall or English. English affected by Sam Darcy and Ross Lyons, and Marshall is tired, and Tom Campbell could come in, bro. They're not going to say Tom Campbell is stuck in the VFL, bro. They can't say that. Yeah.
The thing with English and Darcy, right? I think English is Ruck 2, either R1 or R2, 100% the rest of the season. People keep saying Sam Darcy is going to affect English. English is down to like, can you pull up his CBAs, Joe, for English?
Yeah. But I mean, even Marshall, he played 85% time on ground, 90% CBAs. If he's gassed, he had the same amount of time on ground the last few weeks. Like, I don't quite understand this. Rowan Marshall is falling apart. And then you look at English, you can't trust Bevo, obviously, but it's flipped the right way for him. Yeah. He's had an increase in ruck contest this week.
Yeah, but even if you look at it, right, English might not be getting as much ruck contests as normal with Darcy in the team. It's not affecting him. Like, English is still pumping out fantastic scoring in SuperCoach. And the fact that Darcy's in there means that English is more durable. And now English can take marks in the back line. He can now take marks in the forward line. We've seen that. We've seen English kick goals the last couple of weeks, where that maybe hasn't happened as much. So, yeah, English having like someone else who can second ruck is not a bad thing. I'd be more worried if English was like solo ruck than English having to second ruck.
I mean, English, English has got a great floor.
Mm.
Does the addition of Darcy limit his ceiling? Well, he's gone 138, a 119, a 138, a 124, and a 117.
Yeah, I think
you can't complain with these
2.
scores so far this year, right?
Yeah.
They've been great. So he's going to be top of his line, and with Marshall, he's obviously a lot cheaper than English is, and he's still giving you some really good scores. I don't even remember the last time Marshall and Campbell have played together. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even remember the last time they played together. So
I don't think they have. I remember last year, I think it was Hayes that came in a couple of times. And the year before that, when Marshall kind of became the primo ruckman, their number one, I think, Hayes played 1 or 2 at the start of the season, then got injured. So Marshall's basically been playing solo ruck like the entire time. Like, look at those ruck contest numbers. Like 80, 80, 80, 80. Whenever he's not on the bench, he's playing ruck. Like, who's taking
look
this
at his
spot?
end. Look at his last month. Look at his month to end the season last year. His last 4 games to end the year, he went 150. So he's shown that he's capable of rucking out an entire season by himself. And he actually started the season pretty slow with some 80s and 78s. But then as the season wore on, you saw he started to get a lot more big scores, and he ended up on a 150. So look, I have full trust in Rowan Marshall, the durability of the man in the prime of his career, plus his fixture starts to open up against some easier ruckmen moving forward. So Rowan Marshall, he's obviously got Briggs this week, and Briggs used to be last year was a lot tougher opposition. This year, not quite so much. He's then got English. He can hold his own in the ruck against English.
Yeah.
He's then got Soldo. He can beat Soldo. He's got Sherry at Marvel. He can go with him. He's then got maybe Meek, or you never know. Is this Meek? Or is this Reeves? You never know come round 9. Who's going to be the ruck? You know what I mean? So I think Marshall and his durability can't be underestimated. However, if you got the money to go both, I mean, Marshall's break-even is 120, whereas English's break-even is 150?
Yeah.
154. Now, he does have Essendon this week, and he could get damn close to it. So, you know what? If you want to rock if you want to go Team English, I've got him. As you can see, I've got both.
Velo with the stats, mate. There you go. Last played seniors in 2022, round 7-23. So,
wow.
His career is basically the same as Braden Pruce's, right? They're just a stopgap. Like, Braden Pruce is still a player in the AFL. Tom Campbell is still a player in the AFL at like 32, 33. They're not the main rucks. They're there if your ruckman is down and you need somebody to come into the club. Like, it's bonkers.
Yeah. So he's of course going to keep mentioning the guy. And we've seen how many times has I keep saying Meek. How many times has Campbell been named on the team sheets, but never actually cracks into the side? Like, it's... Yeah. He's like Will Gould almost. He's the ghost, the new ghost of SuperCoach. Aussie, is it worth using my 4th boost to get in Clossy if I go for the first option, which is Jackson and Grundy, to Martin and Marshall?
The only thing is, if you have a look at it, what's your plans for next week? Because as we've kind of said, there looks to be potentially 3 players that you have to get in next week. Yeah. So if you want to upgrade next week, whereas there are some decent enough options to be able to do that, or players that you don't want to miss out on, if that works for you, 100% use your boost to get the player in. Because next week, like, these kind of patch of games and patch of rounds are the ones where you want to be doing as much as you can. So if you need to do it, the boost now, 100% do it. If you're going to upgrade, even if it makes you some money, fantastic because next week it's Graham, it's probably Comben, and then you want to bring in a Primo. If you can't do that, I think you're going to be a little bit behind, especially with obviously Petrarca has his bye, but like Zach Merritt is the ticket next week.
And for that reason, I wouldn't use the boost now, Aussie. For that reason, I would go earlier on Clossy and do option 2, Jordan and Howes to Clossy and Young.
Yeah,
for that reason. Because then, if you're going to do the 2 down, 1 up next week, if you boost this week and then you boost next week, you're out of boosts.
I love being out of
and
boosts.
Good luck, and good luck trying to get Petrarca without a boost.
No, I'll do it. Tom Powell.
Mate, you're gonna call up Tim Mitchell, but hey, bro, I want some money, please.
Al Patton, give me some more boosts, mate.
Al Patton, please, another boost. I'll gladly slip you some money under the table. So I would go early. I'd go option 2, Aussie. Get Clossy now and save your boost. Use the boost for upgrade. Don't use your boost for extra cash gen. Do it for those Uber mids. And right now, the 2 Uber mids that we've got on the horizon are your Zach Merritts and your Petrarcas. And those are your 2 Uber mids at the moment. So save those boosts.
I think as well, cash gen is king. Partly why I went down to Dempsey last week. So you need to bring in these players. We're going to have times throughout the season where there's not going to be any cash gen at all. And if you can't finish your team, you're in a lot of trouble. So something to be said about that a little bit.
Yep. Yes, indeed. So that Travis, Stone Trainer Jackson will be a top 4 forward. Very well. Could be, Trav. You're right. Freddie, what are my trades? My trades, if you watched my... Tell me you didn't watch my video without saying you didn't watch my video, Freddie, but it's all right. I won't judge you for it. My trades this week are simply Sexton down to Clossy, because I still had Sexton, and then I swung Dacos into the mids. So I've done Sexton to Clossy, and I've gone Grundy to Marshall. So those are my 2 trades this week.
In the bank? Can't really
28k, which is not a lot of money. 28k is not a lot of money, but it's fine because I'm saving my boosts and I've got great cash gen, I think, which I'm looking forward to cashing in when I use my boosts to get in some big boys. And I think it's going to involve Massimo. I think it might involve some other players, potentially a Harley Reid. If Powell does bad yet again, then maybe even a Powell. Like, whatever it is, to get my big boy mids, hopefully Sanders can get some forward DPP. Would be beautiful sitting right here. And yeah, those were my trades, Freddie.
Yeah, the big thing is, like, you look at Joe's team, right? The midfield, Sarong's there, which is fantastic. 4 of probably the top 8 players, which is what you want in SuperCoach. Zach Merritt, Petrarca filling out M5, M6. And then maybe a Jack. Are you thinking Jack Steele, Joe? Or you don't like Jack Steele?
Jack Steele's good. Jack Steele is very good. But I'm thinking whoever's super cheap. It could be a Dawson who continues to drop in price. I'm confident Dawson will turn it around at some stage. I'll get him in when he's dirt cheap. And potentially the last one, Clayton Oliver, for the back half of the season, when his finger problem is fixed up. I think Clayton Oliver could come in with a real wet sale for really juicy price. So I'm leaving that spot there for potentially those 2 people. If not them, then maybe a Steele, maybe a Tuke Miller. Really, whoever fits the budget and whoever's looking to turn it around. But I do still have faith that Clayton Oliver and Dawson can turn it around this year.
Yeah,
Skits, I think I have to take the risk on Meek to fix my forward line. Currently, Dempsey is my F1.
Skits, I hope the rest of your team is premiums because that's a bit tough, mate. That's all I'm going to say.
Skits.
You need a Heaney, no Flanders, no Jackson, no Powell.
Allows me to get Flanders and hopefully Powell or go early on Comben. Nah, don't go early on Comben, Skits. Don't do that, bro. But yeah, you need a Heaney. You're holding out for a Heaney till the end of his bye.
Oh, we said that as well. We said that last week, Joe. You said no Heaney. I said get Heaney in your team, and Like Heaney pumped out a 165. This guy's a freak.
He's on the buy now, though.
Yeah, I know, but you've lost. If you got Heaney in last week, you get at 165 and you get plus 40K. Like, I would do that. 100%
Bro,
I would do that.
You watch. Skitz's team is stacked all over. You watch.
I hope so.
Skitz's team is schizo, bro. It's ridiculous. It's so good. Travis, who are the must-have midfielders? Neil and Merritt, probably the two must-haves, yeah?
Probably Rao. I think Steele is definitely there. Petrarca's one that you have to have in. You have to get Petrarca. But Petrarca was on fire last year. I think he's going to go 130 City. I think he's the one this year that's really going to carry Melbourne, and I think you're going to struggle if you don't have him. Look at his scoring the last couple of weeks. Just the guy's gone ballistic. You have to get him in.
Yeah, Petrarca's. Yeah, I don't know. Lockie Neal. I'd like to see how he goes with Ashcroft back. I think Ashcroft will be back middle of the season. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Neal
against Melbourne, but
yeah. And I'm pretty sure Neil historically has been a very strong start to the season. He tends to start off really strong and then maybe peter out a little bit. But I mean, the thing that Petrarca has really done incredibly well is he's raised his floor and he's raised his consistency. He used to have a bunch of games where he would go the occasional 70s. And then it would obviously have ridiculous games. But last year, he had a great floor. Last year, his floor was 95, was his lowest score for the entire season. Yes, he didn't have the ceiling. He didn't hit the heights that a Bontempelli hit, but his consistency in scoring great scores over 90 was unrivaled. He was sensational last year, and he's carrying that form with him into 2024. And again, he's showing us his floor, 108, 190, 146, a 97 in this game. So I think Petrarca, as Big J says, I think Petrarca is going to be someone that you need to get in after his bye. And Merritt, absolutely. Jonas, is it worth bringing back? Yeah, I think it is, Jonas. I think it is worth it. Hayden Young playing. The role was always there. It was just that he was playing it poorly. But he's got his disposal efficiency up. He's not clangering it up like he was before. He's now, the CBAs are still there, but rather than going at 67%, he's now going at 80%. So I do think it is worthwhile trading him back in. It looks like he's going to be a top 6 to 8 defender. If he can go 110 plus, then yes. Oh, yep, we already saw that. Theo, my trades this week, fellas. Out Dacos, Manor, and Roberts. In Merritt, Sharp, and Clossy. Love your work, Centre Bounce. Thank you, Theo. Very much love to you, my friend. But I would not be trading out Nick Dacos at this point. I think you're trading out a top 6 guaranteed defender. And he actually looked better this week. I watched the game. He looked to have that dash. He looked to have that drive. And if you told me at the start of the season that Nick Dacos was going to score over 100 with Finn McGuinness named, I would have said, yes, please, sign me up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's unfortunate that he had that one stinker against St Kilda, because outside of that, he's been bloody fantastic.
Yeah. Even Roberts, like, just checking his score now, 14 break even.
Yeah,
it's a 14. He's got a lot of money to make. He'll definitely get to 400K, and I think that's the optimal time if you're not going to keep him in the back line long term. He has been pumping out some decent scores. Like an 80 is a lot better than a couple of your Zach Williams and your Massimos at the moment. So can you keep Roberts long term, Joe? Potentially, but
yes,
yeah, I think there is merit to say, hey, look, offload these players, but I'd be more comfortable with offloading Roberts to Petrarca in 2 weeks than I would be offloading him right now.
Yeah, and I'd be a lot happier trading in Merritt after the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are the hardest midfield to score against because they just suck up all the points. I've liked to call them a black hole because they just suck up all the points in the midfield between themselves. It's ridiculous at the Bulldogs. So I wouldn't be trading out Dacos or Roberts at this point in order to get Merritt. Try and get Merritt in next week, potentially, and then you get Petrarca the next week after that, if you can. Simo has said if anyone goes forward, it will be Barras. Ooh, good to know, West Coast Eagles. But he looks really good behind the ball as well. I thought he had some sensational efforts. He's an underrated defender, Barras, I feel. Does not get the plaudits. If he was playing for a Victorian team, I think there'd be a lot more, I suppose, applause coming for him. He looked really good. If Campbell does play, would you consider Tom DeConning over Meek? No. Just how much does Tom DeConning even cost? I haven't even heard this guy's name in a while. Like Tom DeConning. How do I even spell DeConning? There he is. He's what, 462? Yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. Not before 62. I'm fine. Jonas, Jared Lyons is stuck on my bench. Have to hold him in the hope there is an injury. Jonas,
mate,
did you own Charlie Constable last year, Jonas? Did you have Charlie Constable last year? I think you might have another Charlie Constable this year, but for a lot more money.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? There's a reason why I'm very confident in getting rid of dead rookies, especially now. There's a lot of players around 100K that you can still make 50K from the downgrade either this week or next week. You have to pull the trigger. You have to. Lions might come back and demolish everything and you get punished for it. But if he doesn't, 250K week after week after week after week, and then losing out on the cash generation of other players can really hurt. Like, I feel bad about having like Marty Hoare or Zach Reed on my bench. You know, Livingston probably is a little bit of a different situation because there's no playing R3s. But this dead cash right now could be the difference between you having a player like being able to upgrade later on or not being able to. Stuff. Charlie Constable and those killed us last year, Joe. There was so many.
Yep. Burgeroo. How's it going, Burgeroo? Number one, trade out Massimo to get Jason Horn-Francis or Rowan. Or two, trade out Howes and get Meek or Flanders. You can trade out Howes to get Flanders? How much money you got in the bank, bro?
Must have a lot of money.
I would trade out Howes to get Flanders for sure.
Horn-Francis is such a tease, man. Like,
he's not playing Essendon every week. He was waltzing out the front of stoppage, unimpeded, and no one was running after him. It was ridiculous. The ease with which they were just putting the ball inside forward 50. He's not playing witches cones every week. Burgeroo. I think Massimo. Look, hopefully he has another week of money. His break even's 49.
I think he's
capable of scoring
one more week.
Yes. Whereas Howes has a break even of 56. So you could trade out Howes if you've got enough money. If you can trade out Hoare to get Flanders would be even better. So I'm not sure Marty Hoare comes back in.
Yeah, I think Marty Hoare's done, which is why I was very lucky last week to swap him to Whitfield. But if you look at like Joe's team, for example, Massimo's perfect the way he is. You wait 1 week, you put Nick Dacos off the bye for Massimo, and then you can use Massimo's money in the midfield or the forward line. I think that's the play over the next 2 weeks, and I think that's going to make a much stronger team. So if you've got this situation, I know I do as well, chuck him in. 100%. Make it happen.
Make it happen. Freddie, not to toot my own horn. Now, he says that, but what's the bet that the next few words he's going to be tooting his horn? Not to toot my own horn, but I did say one of the Hawks rucks would be an option at the start of the year.
But it's not the start of the year. It's round 4, Freddie. It's not the start of the year. We couldn't start one of the Hawks rucks. I know.
He's predicted it, all right?
Yeah, but it's round 4. Like, if Meek came out and scored 130 to first start the season, 100% give you the credit for it, like, no doubt. But Reeves played a couple. Meek's now come in. It's round 5 this week. So, yeah, we have to spend a trade if you want to make it.
He predicted it. He's right.
All right.
Fisher to steal or Martin, or Grundy to Marshall. Fisher. Jeez. The fish. The con man. As the shark.
I think it's the first one. For me, I do think it's the first one. Grundy, yes, you can offload him next week. I don't think it's going to hurt you as much. You're missing out on a playing player on field. If you've got Luke Jackson, fantastic. You can just do the swap and then you're laughing. But yeah, I think Grundy can wait a week because we've had a look at English's break even. We've had a look at Marshall's break even. Steele and Martin are guaranteed to go up probably by 30K. So pick one of those if you have to do only one of the swaps.
Yeah, you can afford to hold Grundy one more week. 83. And if you've got someone like a Luke Jackson in your forward line, then you're even less incentivized to trade out Grundy because you can obviously swing him into your ruck line to cover like a Livingston. So you can afford to hold Grundy and then hopefully wait for an English to drop a bit more if English doesn't go 154, which he might. I can totally see Draper giving away so many free kicks to English this week. It's ridiculous.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me.
He's very energetic, but he can be pretty stupid, and I love him for it. But yeah, so you can afford to wait to hold on to Grundy, especially if you have Jackson, and then get another Steele or a Martin. I think Martin's more likely to be a top 6 defender than Steele is to be a top 8 mid, I think, personally. Because if Martin's going to get 120, say he doesn't maintain a 130 average as he's doing now the last couple. Say he loses a bit more, goes 115 to 120. I don't think there are too many defender premiums that are going to do that. And for that reason, I think you would get Martin. Plus, I can see Martin going crazy against the Dogs this week.
Yeah, I think so as well. We've had a look. Plus 60%. Makes things a bit juicy, Joe.
Yes, Peter. Sexton to condom. Sounds very good. I love it. Your 2 comments so far. Blessed are the meek. Sexton to condom. You've gone the complete both sides of the whole spectrum.
360. No scope right there.
180, yes. Trav, should I target Darcy or Corden? Are you trying to say Combin? Should I try? Wait, Darcy? Sean Darcy? Or Sam Darcy? Bro, Sam Darcy's up to 204K. Negative 21 break even. He could do well against us, but I think that ship maybe has sailed. I reckon go early on Clossy. I know you don't like it, Trav, but I think you want to say, I don't think you want to pay up 204K on top of potentially having to pay 227 next week for Combin. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of money to be paying up. So I think try and go for some more value options.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play.
DP3 biggest downhill score. Bro, how many tackles did DP3 have on the weekend? Let's see. Let's see. But he's prone to doing it. Okay, now he's meant to be a ball winner. How many tackles did he have on the weekend? Let's see. If he didn't have many, then I will agree with you. 3 tackles, bro. He had 8 tackles and 9 tackles and 7 tackles. Nah, I'm not gonna throw him under the bus. That was 2023. He only played last week. Last week, he had 8 tackles. I'm not going to call him a downhill skier. He had 8 tackles last week. I'm not going to completely admit it. He's a cross-country hill skier. He's not a downhill
Nick Martin taking all his points, Joe.
Nick Martin, maybe. But Nick Martin's playing in the back line.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure how that's happening, but I reckon DP3 is good. All good. He's in then, wasn't worried defensively, just whether they'll push him up the ground. Nah, he'll be fine. He's not going to go forward. He'll stay in defense.
Yeah.
Hiswa, who is the defensive downgrade for this week?
Closey, and then potentially next week is Graham, who are also both.
Yes. Miss Downtown Brown is probably Closey. Yes, I agree. Can't bring track in this week with him. Yes, after the bye, Velo. Do I get Burgeroo? Do I get Flanders or Merritt this week? if you get Flanders this week, can you get Merritt next week? If you can't get Merritt next week because you're getting Flanders this week, then get Merritt next week. Get Merritt. Get Merritt. It's tough. But what's your forward line look like outside of missing Flanders? I love Merritt too much. Maybe I'm biased, but he's freaking flying, bro. He's top 4 minute.
He's a good player.
Do you have an idea?
Do I get Flanders or Merritt? Well, if we have a look at the scoring, I think Merritt is too good regardless. He might not score as well versus the Bulldogs, as Joe says, but Flanders versus Hawthorn. Nah, fuck it. Get Flanders. 100%. Flanders is going 180. Hawthorn sucks. Sorry, all your Hawthorn fans that are watching, but Hawthorn's been leaking points to everybody at the moment. It's almost like playing North Melbourne. Chuck Flanders in, you're going to have a good time.
They almost beat Collingwood.
Yeah, but look at the scoring, though. Like the week before, the big scoring was there as well. So Gold Coast are going to murder them. They're going to absolutely murder them.
If he does, I'm very happy, Trav. That was a wonderful move. I'm so happy that Sexy Flanders is now the Sexy Seagull. He got the seagull symbol on fan footy, which was awesome. And they loved what they saw from him. He got all of the ball, which was really impressive. More marks than usual. And because he's playing off half back, his disposal efficiency was also improved. All wonderful things for him. So I hope he keeps that role.
And what it does as well is it opens up a bit more for your Grahams and your Closies as well to actually come in and play kind of those positions. So as long as he's playing and he's around the ball, 100%.
There you go. Look at that. He is. He pushes up to the middle. He runs off the back of the stoppage in order to get involved. I actually
he can't get triple DPP.
No, that will be TPP. That would be TPP.
Can't do it.
Lachlan Hurley, I don't have Gorn. I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain. Is there any point where you think we can bring him in? No. Lachlan, be my brother in this. We're going to antipod him. I know it could be crazy, but we're going to do it, bro. We're going Gorn, we're going Marshall English, and together we're going to overcome the old man. We're going to do it. We can do it, Lachlan.
It's not going to work out well for you. Don't do it.
Too late. I'm doing it. I'm backing in the young bloods, the next generation.
It's going to go up in cash further this week as well. He's only got a 69 break even.
I don't care. I don't need to worry about his break even if I'm never going to trade him in.
That's fair. That's definitely that's a good way to look at it, I suppose. If you're not going to have,
that's the only way to look at it. Cheese, prioritize trading Grundy to Marshall or a mid-pricer to Nick Martin. If it's James Jordan, then James Jordan to Nick Martin sounds very delicious. Cheese.
Yeah, and it kind of goes full circle because I traded James Jordan from Nick Martin and now bringing Nick Martin back in. Look, I've said it to begin with. I don't think Grundy to anyone is a super must-have trade because both of the main players you're going to bring in are probably going to lose money. Like, that's more the tough thing. Both players are probably going to lose some money this week. Marshall 120-odd break even. Tim English 154, I think. So, yes, they can both do it, but Nick Martin is going to go up in price this week. So, and it sucks. It sucks. If you're one of those people, Cheese, who, like me and Joe, traded out Nick Martin, it sucks. Having to watch him go 150, 150, 150 every 3 weeks. So,
I'm proud of him. He's proving me right.
Yeah.
I've been raving about this guy all preseason. I'm glad that there are people out there who are enjoying it. But is Grundy a must trade? No, as we've mentioned a lot of times now, Josh, especially if you have Jackson, and you can hold him until you can upgrade him to an English fairly easily, I think. Michael, how's it going? Can we go from a Grundy to a Meek? Have we we seen this question before yet, Big J? I don't know. So we can use the cash to put on someone like a Bonner to get a Merit or Petrarca.
Okay. I would do that trade, Michael. If you haven't spent a lot of trades already, 100% would do that trade. Probably not Petrarca because he's got the bye next week. But 100% do it. If you can, do it. It's more just the case of, like, I don't know how good Grundy is as a pick. If you've spent 10 trades at the moment, like Joe and I have, cool. Probably not the best thing for you. It's a little bit too risky. But, yeah, at the moment, do it if you want the money. It's just not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that much.
Yeah, but to get Bonner to a Merit.
No, I understand. And that's why I said do it. That's why I said do it. It's more just...
Plus, he could make 150 as well. I mean, what does he have to do to get to 150? I mean, let's go back to SuperCoach. We're going to look up Lloyd Meek. Blessed are the meek. All right. So, if he scores a 61, he'll go up 34K. That's unlikely. He should outscore 61. But then again, he is up against Wits. So if he goes an average over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, what do we let's I mean, I don't know. This is going to be tough to forecast. If he goes 61 plus 75 plus 95 plus 82 divided by 4. So if he averages 78, he gets you to 417K.
I think people are bringing him hoping that he's going to go 100 plus. I think
correct.
That's what people are hoping for. Yeah.
So if 78, all right, I'm going to do some quick mathematics here. So if 78 yields an increase of, how much does he go up? 34. All right, I'll put another one. 34.3 plus 19.4 minus 1.7 plus 8.3 is 60.3. Okay. So if an average of 78 yields him an increase of 60.3, if he averages 100 times 100 divided by 78, if he averages 100, then he'll go up by 77.3K. If he averages 100 over the next 4 weeks, he'll go up 77.3K. Is it worth it? You decide. Ashley, fellas, I don't own Heaney, and it's been killing me. I can imagine.
I bet it hurts.
Is it worth going up to Heaney after his bye?
Oh. Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It really depends. But if you don't own Heaney, he's going to be a keeper anyway. So
break even at 52.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Joe. He's too strong, mate. The guy's gone 130 like every single week of the season. Yeah, it sucks.
Oh my god!
The one thing, actually, right? SuperCoach is about having fun, about watching the games and enjoying your players on field and seeing them do well. If not owning Heaney is killing you, like it is for me in English, and it's probably why I'm going to go English this week. If not owning this player is causing you discomfort when you watch Sydney games, get the player into your team, especially because they're looking like they're going to be a keeper. 100%. If you want to scream out Heaney every time Heaney does something, do it, because you've got this guy on your team and you can do it. It's better than giving you heartache. It's better than giving you a headache every single time. If the pick doesn't work, okay, whatever. But it's your enjoyment, obviously. That means a lot more. We do this for fun. We do this so we can go and watch. We can watch our players do well on the field. That's why we do it.
Cause I can be your Heaney, baby. I can swat West Coast away.
Well, that's it.
And I will be F1 forever.
It just comes down to him being able to do it.
700K. There you go. On the fly. On the fly. We've made up a song. All right. Lachlan, can we bring in Sharp with a sub -50 break even, but still pull 100K?
It's tough, man. It's really tough.
No,
I brought in Dempsey because I know the scoring is going to be there. I think you can guarantee like an 80 plus from Dempsey every week. It sucks. You're bringing in Sharp. Lachlan, if you're happy, bring him in. But you're bringing in Sharp to make 100K and you're spending a trade. That's what you're doing. Jamie Sharp is going to make that money over the next 3 weeks or so. Bring him in because you're going to be able to get some money out of him. He's not going to be a keeper, whatever it is. He might score you a 70 next week, which is fine. But, yeah, you're just riding that 126 for the next 3 weeks. That's all it is. He's a winger.
I would not be spending that much money for a winger who will never, probably ever, play that type of game ever again. Like that 126, that goal to put them in front, like that's probably never going to happen again. So I think that ship has well and truly saved Lachlan. Keep that trade, keep that money, and get the other cash cows that are coming up. Thoughts on JHF?
Oh, it's one of the gambles of the year, right? Last week, Drew didn't do that well, I think. No Ollie Wines, but hopefully he's going to be back this week. It's a tricky one. It really is. Really comes down to personal preference. If you like him, fantastic. I think he's on track for DPP. I'm not sure 100% though.
Is he?
I think he's on track for DPP. So, yeah.
Are we sure about this? You know what? The best way to know is to go to Twitter and look up Jaden Poposky. The absolute, not Caden.
He's only played 2 games, though.
Huh?
He's only played 2 games.
Yeah, he only needs to play. He needs to play 3 in order to get DPP.
That's true.
All right, so this is DPP watch. Jaden Poposky, we do not deserve you. All right, so 39 players with a complete position change in 2024. 9 players are close with a mid-forward split. Now, is Horn Francis one of these people? No, Horn Francis is not here. So I wouldn't bet on Horn Francis getting DPP then.
Yeah. The mid split's a bit tough. That's all. Yeah. He likes to be around the ball.
To afford merit, I have to go mass down to Clossy rather than house to Clossy. Is it still worth it? Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Max Ramsden, thoughts on him? I don't think so because I'm pretty sure Lewis is back in a couple of weeks and then Ramsden is gone in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, good kid. Seemed like an all right player, but I'm not trusting him to keep his spot in that side. I'm pretty sure Lewis is back in a couple of weeks.
Smart, there you go.
Is it okay to boost this week for Flanders and boost next week for merit? Bro,
yeah, of course.
You're boosting in, you're getting in top line players. Of course, Burger. That's the whole point of the boost, mate. Well done.
Yeah. The thing with boosts, right? We've kind of not done it the right way. But the thing with boosts is the 5 boosts should guarantee you 5 top 5 players or top 8 players minimum in their positions. That's what boosts are for. They're for to allow you to come in and get these guys that were, your 650K players, that kind of thing, that you need to bring into your team. That 100%, that's what boosts are for. So if you can do it, right? They just suck that you have to go and spend it to fix rookies and shitty starting teams and whatever. So yeah.
Thoughts? Hailstone on I can trade Jordan for any mid. Who's your choice? I'm thinking Steel. I'm thinking Merit. and Petrarca, but not Petrarca
Yeah.
now. Petrarca after the buy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
I
think Merritt's the one to do. Steele's fantastic, right? If you can do both, in an ideal world, if you can do both, get Merritt now. Sorry, get Steele now and then Merritt later. But if you can only get one, you have to get Merritt. He's just going to go up in cash. Sorry, Merritt's just going to keep scoring. Steele's probably going to be, what, 50K more expensive, 30, 40K. So you can do it, but it's not great.
Yep. West Coast Eagles rule outs. Grundy and Jordan in Rowell and Steele. Thoughts?
Grundy,
Not
Jordan.
bad.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice one. You probably have Jackson in your forward line. Very well done. Hiswar, worth going early on Clossy if I can downgrade Dambro to him and Fife up to Merritt or Track. Oh, Fife. Fife has got a really low break even now after that great performance this week.
Keeping Fife. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be keeping Fife at the moment. As Joe says, the break even's very, very low. And I think just his scoring at the moment's been decent enough that you can hold him for a while.
Yeah, he's not too bad. He's got Port, then West Coast. Pretty juicy. You can hold him for a couple more weeks, make you a bit more money. Nat Fife could become your Petrarca after his buy.
Yeah.
Jonah's got to take a chance on Meek versus English. The 334K difference turns a mid-pricer into a super primo mid this week. Fair enough, bro. It's a lot of money. It is a lot of money difference for sure. And I'm pretty sure someone in the chat will absolutely agree with you. By the name of Shaq, who's declaring that my season is over because I don't have Meek in my team. Nathaniel, is also worth considering the cash English might lose, which could mean Meek play yields 250K.
Which is where I'm like, cool, wait a week for Grundy. Like, it sucks Grundy isn't playing. It's only one of your 23 players, but you can wait a week. Hopefully.
Jamon, is it worth going from Grundy to Gorn this round? One more big score from Gorn, and it feels like it'd be out of reach. Not sure enough on Meek to downgrade to him. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, we don't know if he's gonna keep his. What the hell have you sent me, mate? That's pretty funny. Funny. He sent me a
I'll load it up. Let me load it up. I'll load it up.
Just quick maths. That's a pretty good thumbnail. I don't mind that at all. Actually, it's pretty good. But yeah, so I mean, Meek. Only time will tell if that was a good downgrade or not. Chances are that if he can keep his spot in the team, that he could be really good in terms of decent scoring, make you money, but ultimately the biggest positive is that you free up cash to make your other trades. Okay. It's in the overlay section. Where is that again? Oh, here it is.
Just wait.
Oh, thoughts on this? Joe's quick maths. Who am I over? Who's face in my?
That's the guy that goes quick maths. You know, the 2 + 2 is 4.
Oh,
you know that guy? Yeah,
that rapper dude.
Yep.
There you go. And I'm a little J rap name. There we go. Quick maths. So yeah, look. If you want to go with Meek, then Meek is absolutely, I think, a viable option. It is a bit of a risk, but if it works out for you, then you've got the funds in order to upgrade a mid-pricer to an Uber Primo, and then hopefully he makes a bit more money while English continues to go down, and then you can trade them up. But then again, for me, I've already burnt through so many trades in order to get to this point, and it's just, if it fails, then I'm up ship creek. Essentially, if you have used less trades than I have, then full send it, guys. Full send it.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, sorry, we did that. Halstone, I still have Caulfield. Going to trade him to Clossy and Jordan for any mid. We've already said who it is. Flag Pies. Thoughts on these trades? Massimo to Clossie, Fisher to Combin, and Seth Campbell to Merritt. So he's going early on Clossie and Combin to get Merritt.
It's very risky, Flag Pies, but if it works out, you're laughing. That's kind of the tricky thing, right? It's really tricky. Really, really tricky. Combin has the role, but he's just got to be fit. Seth Campbell to Merritt, I understand.
That's sick. I don't mind that at all, personally. It's risky, but hey, you got to risk it for the biscuit. Right. You know what I mean? Like it would suck if any of these guys get injured.
Like Combin could shit the bed next week, and then you just down in the toilet. Like that's the only problem I have with the trades. You don't have that round. You don't have that two game sample size, which is better than one game sample size.
Correct. It's true. That's true. Is it possible to go Massimo to Clossie and Fisher up to Merritt?
No, I think you need but yeah, do that. If you can do that, 100%. Forget Combin for next week. I'd be more than happy for you to go Seth Campbell to Merritt. Maybe Campbell makes a little bit more money. Is it Richmond and Collingwood this week? No, it's Collingwood, Sydney. So it's Richmond, Melbourne next week. Yeah, so you get another week of doing that. 100% Flag Pies, do that. Save your boost. Massimo to Clossie, Fisher up to Merritt if you can.
There you go. That's why he asks us these questions, mate. We give him answers. Burgaroo, I have a plan to get Flanders this week, then Merritt next week, except I need Meek. If that's what you need, Burgaroo, then blessed be you. Do it for it. Where can I get the DPP information? Just ask Jaden Poposky, as you would have seen me do on here. You just follow Jaden Poposky. The dude is the GOAT. Absolute legend. And if you haven't seen our video with him, where we literally went through all of the breakdown of how scoring works, then check that out. Obviously was a masterclass, really. So many content creators congratulated us on that video. So head on over and check that out if you haven't. The video with Jaden Poposky, it is a beginner series video, and also follow him. And he's so good. I obviously am a Buku Kamis fan, and owner, and I tweeted him asking for a breakdown of Buku Kamis, and he did.
There you go.
There you go. He gives us the full breakdowns. I asked him on Twitter. I'm like, hey, it could be biased. Can you please give us a breakdown? And then bang, he tells us everything about him, and it was bang on correct. So sometimes owner's bias is a thing. You go to the pros, and they tell you exactly how it goes. So there you go. Think I will go English this week, playing the Bombers. Yeah, I know. Anyone playing the Bombers, just trade them in. We suck.
Is that the plan?
That's the plan. What's the reasoning on going Marshall instead of Gorn if you already have English? Because I can't afford him in a one down, one up, Jamon. He's gone too big too quickly. And Grundy has just been a potato. So he's gone up too much too quickly, and I can't afford him. So now I have to just tell him to piss off never again. I'm going to have to go with Marshall now. 4 boosts in a row, game over. Not necessarily, Jonas. Not necessarily.
No, if you're making your team better, it sucks, right? 100% it sucks. But if you're making your team better, if you're doing better, if you're bringing in all these guys who are going to get to 350k, this year's very, very different. Last year, it was really tough, right? We had Butters, we had Rosie, Josh Dunkley, all these guys in our forward line who were midfielders effectively, who were all going to be around that 650k mark. You look at this year, there's just no one. There's Flanders and Heaney and Luke Jackson, and that's it. In terms of forward primos who are expensive. So you can get away with spending this. You need to bring in the guys who are getting, going to be 650k or around the mark. If you had to fix trades, then whatever. But yeah, it's not game over as much as I think what you're thinking.
Trolling agent 24/7. I hope you're not trolling us. Grab Steele or Rosie?
It's a tricky one, right? Because Rosie just came off and started playing really well. So
he's not playing the Bombers every week.
No, he's not. And I think that's the tricky thing. And Butters isn't going to shit the bed as much as what he did either. I think Steele's the way to go. Steele's got 120, 120, 120, 120. It's hard to go past, right?
I mean, which Butters do you want? I mean, which Rosie do you want? The 152 from last week, or the 102, or the 90 from, or the 114 from before that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Butters is absolutely more than likely to be a top 8 mid as opposed to a Rosie who's going to have the occasional. I mean, he's got a 152. He had 3 goals, 2, and 36 disposals. Like, who does that? That's bonkers, bro. He could have had 5 goals and over 35 disposals. That's one of the all-time great games on 82% time on ground. So he's not going to do that every week. He's not playing the Bombers every week. So I definitely prefer Steele. He's been doing it. He's had it in the past. He's been a premium in the past. He's gone over 120 average, and it looks like he's back to his best. And he hasn't dropped the stinker yet.
Yeah, and that's
119, 120, 126, 142.
We said that before when someone commented on it before, Joe, and it was just like, we've been lucky. We've been very, very lucky that Steele has been gettable at sub 500. Sorry, sub 600K. It won't be the case next week. Next week, he's going to go up. If you miss out on him now, you're spending 620, then 650, then probably around that for the rest of the season. So you don't want to miss out on him. If you think he's a good player, get him in. What's Rosie's break even at the moment anyway?
Good question. I imagine it should be low considering that bomb of a score that he just had.
82. So if he scores 100, he goes up 8K. Like, get Steele in now while you can.
Yes, agreed. Aussie, appreciate it, boys. This is a mess. You can say that again. I could pick up someone instead of Young if I want some extra cash, like a Horn Francis or a Yo. Don't trade in the injury risk. You got to start the injury risk, as we say all the time. You can go Young. Young is a very good trade back in. Jen, how's it going? Good to see you. 22-28. Good score. Very good score. Aiden, yo, how's it going, Mr. Stafford? What song are we going to see this week from you, mate? You and your brother. Ain't getting Heaney after his bye.
No pressure, though. No pressure.
No pressure. If you can't come up with something this week, you don't have to do it. Let me know, and I'll come up with something. I don't have any guitar work, but hey, maybe no guitar work will means we're not getting demonetized. Bro, you guys are too good. I'm just kidding. Cheese, the weird thing about that Dacos tag was they stopped it at halftime, and his worst quarter was the 4th.
Yeah, I know. It was really weird. He just kind of stopped playing. I don't know what it was. You'll have to see, like, did he get any touches? Did he even run around on field? Maybe he just took a break. It was like, yep, that's it. I've got the bye next week. I'm just going to take the time off. Go home early. Went to the bathroom. Who knows?
Yeah. Which Fallen Primo players are we looking at after the buys?
I don't know if we want any Fallen Primos at the moment.
I'm thinking Dawson, bro.
Yeah, but I personally, so let's look at Dawson, right? Let me quickly pull. I don't know where he is on the list. I'm scrolling down to find Jordan Dawson.
Yeah, he's doing terribly this year. But that's why he's going to be super cheap later. He's too good to be scoring like this.
Potentially. So he's versing Carlton. They're very restrictive. Still has a negative break even of 151. So Jordan Dawson is going to be 400K. He's going to be 4 something K in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. The real tricky thing with Dawson is you need to get a hinkling. You need to get some idea that he's actually going back to good scoring. Last year was fantastic, but there really wasn't this resurgence of Crouch. Adelaide, I said it in the preseason, right? The problem with Adelaide is that they were so close to finals last year. They needed to do something different in the team to be able to make that happen. Maybe that was Rankin or Rochelle or someone else in the midfield. We've seen Sam Berry playing a little bit at the moment as well. And Tex Walker not being there. So he's not getting the score assists. He's not getting 70 goals worth of score assists. Other people have kind of come on and started to take a little bit of his half-back time. And it's just stuck. Jordan Dawson is going to be very cheap. I'm not convinced that he's top 8. Like, I'll say it now. I don't think he is. Potentially, Jordan Dawson's one to look at. Oliver in the same boat as well, post-bye. I think he's not going to have the same hand injury anymore. That's really troubled him, at least for the last week. Who else are we looking at? There's not that many. Really, there's not that many. The guys that have dropped are the ones that have dropped. It's not been like previous years where, someone's dropped in money, but, they're going to bounce back. There's a lot of 500K guys that are going up. There's a lot of 600K guys that are going down, but there's not that many that I would be so comfortable with actually, like, putting on field at the moment. It's a bit crazy.
I can't wait to get this guy back in.
Yeah, his scoring from last year was fantastic. Like you get him in, but it's just this year something's happened. The makeup's changed. Adelaide's gone to shit. They've got no forward line. Maybe Dawson's moved around a bit too much, but yeah, something's just happening, and he's just not getting the time. Maybe it's him having to play wing or midfield and not getting that score off halfback, which is really hurting.
Nix has to put him back. Nix has to put him back to the role.
Someone's coming to the midfield as well that's taking. I think Crouch himself's been really restrictive of Dawson scoring, because it's another 100, another 100 average player that comes into that midfield. Points need to come from somewhere, and unfortunately, it's not coming from Laird at the moment because Laird's scoring really well.
Yeah, but if I can totally foresee Dawson being moved back and playing in that role where he starred for them off halfback, using that wonderful peg of his. When he does that, he's going to be so dirt cheap for us. You're going to have to get him in, I think, at that point. So I'm looking forward to him, and I'm also looking forward to Oliver. Those are two guys that I'm not discounting. They're going to be cheap, boys. They're going to be cheap. Cheese, 100%, bro. I'd love Barras at the Dons, 100%. Jack McRae, he will be very cheap as well. Agreed. Sorry, guys. I meant this week with Heaney and Grundy's buy. I have to send Jackson to F2 and Heaney bench, which then puts Dempsey to F1. Oh, you already own Heaney. That's fine.
But Dempsey at F1, he's on 200K. He's 200K. That's the problem. It's rough. That's all I'm going to say. It's a bit rough.
Is Sexton this year's Constable? No, because Constable did not make us any money. At least Sexton's given us one price.
I guess that's the real thing, isn't it? The problem with Sexton, right? Gold Coast looks so much better, and Dimmer was so happy after that game. It was legit like, I love these players. Wait till they get 10 games. They're going to be fantastic. Sexton's out of the team. At this point, halfback players need to be dropping left and right for him to get a game again. Unfortunately, post-bye, they culled like 5 or 6 players. Joe was like, mate, team sheets, this is an essay. It's really bad. Sexton's lost his role. He's not going to play. His disposal efficiency, the first game was fantastic, right? After that, it wasn't great. And I think that's really, really hurt him in the long run. And that's what clubs want. They want to be able to win. Gold Coast wants to win, and they can't win with Sexton in the team, which means Sexton's in the...
Sexton is where? Where is he, Big J? He's in the bin!
In the bin. We'll fix this up, banner up. But Sexton's in the bin. Comben plus, Sexton plus 40-odd K equals Comben next week. I think that might be the play.
Might be the play. That's the way. Ultimate Fitness Adventure Camp. I have given up. After no Gorn inclusion this season, too many 170s, so I traded him in this week at all costs. Now, how about Comben? Is he a half-decent trade? Wouldn't go Comben yet. Look at Comben next week, and then if he pops off again, trade him in. The only one I think you can be comfortable trading in early, I think, is a Clossy, because it looks like he's got that role and doing well.
And purely for just the fact as well that the guy's 102K. Like, you can hold a 102K guy that might have a little bit of a tough job security. 220K is a lot of money. It's basically sideways for a lot of our players at the moment, or a heavy downgrade versus like a cash out. So, wait 1 week. Comben's fantastic. I spoke about him all preseason. Good player, good guy, whatever. Just have to wait for him to come in. That's all it is.
See, Unstable. Yeah. Look, Reed isn't... Oh, no, Zach Reed. Shit. Coffin field. Oh, Jonas. Oh, no, Jonas. I don't want to look at that midfield. That bench is bad.
Cash is king in SuperCoach, unfortunately. That's the big thing. That's the big problem. And I said this earlier, right? I've got Reed on bench. I've got a lot of us have Livingston. So that's 2 dead rookies already. Plus Sexton, who's now a dead rookie at the moment as well. So you're going to have to start culling these players as quick as you can. And the thing is, it's round 4, 5 at the moment. Come round 9, 10, 11, 12, even through the middle of the year, the rookies that debut are not going to be as good as the ones that start. like historically, that's just how it is. We've got one or two, Samson Ryan, for example, Riley O'Brien, all those guys every year that come out and do okay. But outside of that, the other guys are in and out of the team. Because the only reason why they got picked now instead of earlier on in the season is because players got injured. So get Cull the bench. Jonas was saying, what was that? 4 boosts and dead. Like, I'd rather have 4 boosts spent than still have Caulfield, Reed, Manor on my bench. Like,
yeah.
I'll catch in those 350k rookies.
Yep.
It's tough.
Mariam Abbas, how's it going, Mariam? Bramble and Mass to Clossy and Martin or Whitfield? If yes, then which one of Martin or Whitfield?
Oh, Bramble shit the bed last week. It really sucked. Went from scoring a 98, 100 to a 32. Yeah,
I would probably go Nick Martin, Mariam. I think Martin's pumping out 120s to 130s, and I'm not sure Whitfield is going to be doing that. He'll still be a great pick, and I think Martin's just going to go up in price Martin's a lot
cheaper.
more.
Martin's cheaper as well. So.
Yeah. So go Nico Martin. Oh, wow. How's it going? Waitlers? Rod? Hearts to you too. But my heart will be broken this week when you boys tear us a new one on Friday night. Velo, thoughts on Mac Andrew for 304k? I think he is overpriced.
Yep.
I'm not going to trade him in.
As well. It was interesting. His game's always been there, and he had a really good game on the weekend. I'm not sure. Let me just check his scoring wise. Mac Andrew 101. Cool. So he scored really well. The intercept marks are great. Got a few free kicks, or gave away a few free kicks, really. So he could have come in with a 120 or so score, but he's just too expensive. That's just what
he's
it
is. He's a fiery temper.
At this time, we're not bringing in 3 or 4K players. Price rises have started to happen. We're not bringing in these guys. If Mac Andrew was guaranteed to be a keeper, cool. 3 or 4K, I have no trouble. But the time of sidewaysing players is finished. You upgrade or you downgrade. You don't bring in 3 or 4K players. Charlie Comben's a bit different because the guy's in the forward line and he pumped out a 120. Like, conceivably, he could do that 2 more times and we actually get a forward line player that scores. But at the moment, no.
No. Just no. Damon, Flanders could cop the McGuinness tag. Really? Flanders? Want to go to someone like a Tuke Miller, perhaps?
I don't think Flanders is the right player for them to tag this week. It seems like a Mitchell thing to do. Maybe he doesn't have him in SuperCoach and wants him cheap. But maybe. Flanders is not the right. Flanders is really weird, Joe. I said this in the preseason. He's not that impactful, Flanders. Like, he looks great, really good player, but he's not the one kicking a lot of goals. He's just a link-up player. And you don't really tag the link-up player. You tag the guy that either gets the clearances or runs up and down the ground or scores the goals or does that kind of thing. I think that's why Flanders, in essence, as well, has been scoring so well. Like, he didn't have a monster game. 29 touches, 125 in SuperCoach. Didn't kick any goals. Didn't give away any free kicks. Just your chip mark type player. Didn't, 6 clearances, 6 contested possessions is not that much. He's just solid. So he's not the one you tag. Matt Rao, Tuke Miller, Anderson are the ones that go in. And they deserve the attention, really.
Don't think it's worth it, Heath. Trying to get sharp in. Paying that much for a winger is not ideal.
He's going to get to 350k. That's probably around the mark that he's going to be. If you're okay with getting him getting him at 350k, and that's kind of your last position, cool. What's his price? Can you check his projected price, Joe? Will it pop up? Like, scroll down. If
he goes 68, he'll got 54.5.
Yeah, but scroll down and it will have his projected price. This is why you get SuperCoach Gold, by the way. So 360k. Like, that's his projected score. So you bring in a guy that is 255k and you're getting 360k out of him. If that's 105,000. If that's enough for you, sure. Like, go for it. He needs to have another big score on top of this one to really bolster it up, or around round 8 and 9 have a big score. Mate,
It was good. It was good, Velo. I didn't see that one coming. He just burst out the magic. Is this a question for us, Rod? Who our top three favorite? Okay. I don't really listen to my own. I don't listen to myself. I already think up here too much. I've definitely loved me some DR. I don't miss any of DR's videos. Absolute legend. I don't miss any of the Skodfather's videos. They are so informative and funny. And then my third SuperCoach YouTuber, to be honest, I don't really consume too much, but I do. I don't know. I got a soft spot for Hippo. I like Hippo SuperCoach. I know I might have upset some people if I haven't said their names, but I mean those are just the three. You asked me for three only, and those are the three. Especially when Hippo goes on a rant. I love Hippo's rants. Hippo's rants are great. So yeah, it's DR, Skodfather, and Hippo. Those are my three.
I think for me at the moment, it's definitely I get a lot out of like JD. So even if it's George's or JD's podcast, they do a nice weekly podcast every week. Kind of just go through the players. We talk a lot about different things, but definitely in SuperCoach world, you can't know everything about all the players all the time. So it's really good to kind of get that second mindset. DR's really good as well. You know, just the content. We love the guy, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if there's a third one, Joe, that I actually like listen to a lot. Maybe Skodfather stuff. I think we produce that much content as SuperCoach that I kind of just like, cool, we spoke about it and that's it. If something comes up and it's like a real player analysis, who should I bring in, who should I not? 100% happy to listen to it. But yeah, it's tough.
Oh, Maltesing! Thank you so much, mate. You did not have to do that at all, mate. Thank you so much. You really didn't. Entertaining show. Looking forward to Anzac Day. Go Pies. Yeah, you guys are going to freaking flog us probably. It looks like everybody's going to flog us after what we did last week. So, but thank you so much. It was your first super on the stream. Much love to you, my friend. Chris, I'm done with trading in rookies over 140, 150. Not worth it now.
And that's what I said, right? Just with the rant a little bit earlier about bringing in Sharp and Mac Andrew. You bring in a Combin because you think he's going to score decently enough and potentially become a keeper. In our forward line, there's nothing. But you're not bringing in 180k players. Harvey Thomas died. A few of these other players haven't worked out. Jeremy Sharp, 100k is probably worth the price of a trade anyway. So you bring him in like on a net. I think you actually bring him in on a loss because you bring him in and then you have to trade him out again. So you're down a trade with Jeremy Sharp if you bring him in now. So there's a few of these players that are really struggling. I think the Dempsey trade's a little bit different. I brought him in last week, but yeah, just cash in. Cash in, that's all you need to do.
Blues fan, Joe, I'm with you. Surely, I know, bro. Come on, we're praying. Bro,
it's going to happen. Gawn is a gun.
No.
I said this at the start of the season. There's no one else at Melbourne. He's the captain. There's no one else. There is no one else, Joe. Melbourne has nobody. They got
I don't care.
He's going to score every week. That's it.
Neither do these guys. They don't have the other one either.
They've got Tom Campbell. Tom Campbell can come in for Rowan Marshall. If Marshall gets injured, that's it. Gawn has a responsibility to his club to play well as the captain and to score well in SuperCoach. Rowan Marshall doesn't care. Hayes, Caminiti, Tom Campbell can come in. Tim English is like...
If Rowan Marshall gets injured, then he's out. You're right, because Max Gawn is God working on earth. Max Gawn does not get injured. We saw what happened in round 0. We saw what happened.
He didn't do anything. You were incorrect, mate.
I was correct. He did shit after that. He did shit after that.
And then he scored a 140 average since then.
He was lucky. He's lucky. English and Marshall will beat him.
Sorry.
English and Marshall will beat him. Together, they will do it. The power of friendship will prevail. I'm bringing in either Nick Martin or Shai Bolton. Oh, nah. It's got to be Nick Martin. Shai Bolton's a freak. He's more talented than Nick Martin. Shai Bolton is one of the most freakiest electric players in the entire competition. But
plays for Richmond.
He can't do this every week. He plays for Richmond, as Big J says, so he's going to be on the bye really soon. Nick Martin is pumping out 120s, 130s like he's popping you-know-whats. So I reckon Nick Martin. Yeah, he agrees.
It's a tricky one. If you look at Bolton's scoring historically, games like the last week where Richmond were competitive, cool, he scores really well, but this year might be the year where Shai Bolton ends up a top 6 because there's no one else. And I'm saying that because there's no one else. That's the tricky thing. Yeah, but they had Grundy. Gorn could be injured and Grundy could come in. So bit different.
Doesn't matter. Injuries are bad. Injuries are bad regardless. Cheese. Is Tom Brown still an option to fix a corpse on the bench? Still could make 100K.
It's tricky, right? Because next week he's got the bye. So
yeah.
How much is he?
Every time I hear Tom Brown, I can't help but think of the shit reporter. Negative 33 break even. He's playing West Coast?
No.
He'll
score okay. He'll score okay. It's just... Look,
if he goes 70s...
You can do it. You can do it. What's his projected? Let me just check.
If he goes 71, if he goes 71 every single week,
he'll get like 350K.
He'll get to 377 come round 23.
But that's not what you want. What is he now? 213K. So next week, 71 gets into 260. Look, the tricky thing is, if you think Tom Brown, if you think Tom Brown is going to keep his spot in the team and it fixes dead rookies, I think it potentially could be worth it. After this week and after next week, we're back to best 22. It's going to shock a lot of people and a lot of teams. Tom Brown potentially scoring your 70s on field could be the win-loss scenario for you. So if it fixes someone, make it happen, I think. Yeah, I know.
Tom Brown, bro. Get him in the side. Get him in the side ASAP.
Hey, look at that forehead, Joe. That makes me look bad. Crikey, look at
that. Find keys. Thoughts on Jordan, Howes, and Fisher to Horn, Francis, Flanders, and Clossy. Just a bit unsure on Horn Francis, but works best for a budget.
Well, that's it, right? No. Works best for a budget is probably the best thing. Let me just pull up Horn Francis.
What's his price? Why are so many people
433K? 433K has had 2 scores over 100, potentially getting forward DPP. He could be on a tear. This could be the year for him. I think Port's kind of half decent form, and his form itself it has really let him shine through. Let's see. So if he goes a bit in price, I think you're okay. If you want to bring Horn Francis in, it's not the worst trade in the world.
What's Nick Martin at now?
533.
For 100 more K, you can get a player.
You can't do it with the money. That's the problem.
You got to make money.
This is why. So right now, Keys, you know what I would do? If I had this team, 100%, don't trade out Howes, get Massimo, bring in Nick Martin. That's what I would do. Yep. If you set on it, Howes to Nick Martin. So, yeah, drop trading Howes. Go Massimo a week early. Bring in Nick Martin if you can. That would be like what I would do with that team.
Yeah, I did trade Martin. It's something I never do, but I did, and it sucks.
Yep, which is why I said to before about someone. I said it with English for myself. They said it with Heaney. There's players on field. SuperCoach is about, as much as it is about having fun, it's about like enjoying enjoying the games of football, right? If Nick Martin was in your team, you traded him out. You hate the fact that every week Nick Martin's scoring a 130. It's okay to bring him in. It sucks. We take the loss, we move on. But I hate in SuperCoach why, like that feeling of, oh, I wish I had this player. I wish I had brought this guy in. It sucks. It hurts, right? Don't do it.
Guys, about 10 minutes left, I think. We'll close it up at 10 o'clock. We got work tomorrow and people got school and stuff.
Oh, me too.
So we'll try and blast through these. Jones, can you say a prayer to SuperCoach gods for Liam, ranked 84K?
Oi.
Prayer, Groven. Harry, is it bad that I have Andy McGrath? Just
Probably
a little bit.
Probably not the best.
Harry, how are you? H, how's it
Harry?
going, brother? How's Teclossi, Jordan to Flanders, and Grundy to English? Or Sexton to Clossie, Jordan to Flanders, Grundy to Merritt? Cheers, lads. I like that one.
I assume that means, Harry, that you've got Jackson in your team.
Yes.
If you have Jackson in your team,
two.
Yeah, if you have Jackson in your team, option 2 is better. The Ruckmen this year are going to drop in price. You'll be able to get Marsh at a little bit cheaper, English at a little bit cheaper. I would 100% do that trade instead. I think it's going to be going to work out a lot better for you.
Sorry, Maltesing. I didn't realize that's right. School holidays. Look, I'm not in school myself, so I forget the calendars, people who are on school holiday and not. So I apologize. You don't have to wake up early. You can sleep in. But I feel bad that you gave us your pocket change now. Now you don't have a lunch order when you go back to school. Hold on to your money. Don't waste your money, Maltesing. Season over. Get out of here, Shaq. This is why Grundy needs to go. He's a miserable watch. Yes, he is.
Yep.
I'm glad you liked my song, Aiden. Not too bad. 100%. I don't think so. Watching Martin pop off after being on him since January is a miserable watch.
Which is why you bring him in. If you got rid of him, okay, bring him in. That's fine.
Yep. Clark, Jackson, and Grundy for Martin, Gordon, and Comben. Not sure about other forward options. Too early on Comben.
Yeah, I think so.
Injury prone, not great history of staying on the park. Wait another week. I do like this next guy. Watching Lukosius.
Yep.
I agree. Lukosius looks really good. Was he part of the...
No, I don't think so.
Was Lukosius here? Jack Lukosius. Yes, he is. Forward defense. There he is. He's looking good. I like him. I do like him a lot. He's scoring very well. Playing behind the ball, really impressive. The only annoying thing is that he costs around 400k. Obviously, the scoring's been decent, 87 and a 95, but for 400k, it's not quite enough. Joe, you're going to bring in Carl? No, I'm not. Trust your preseason research. I did one freaking video. I've done one spotlight video, and Jonas has not let me go about this. Bloody hell, Jonas. What have I done to you?
It's good fun.
Here's what. Thoughts on Max Holmes as a pod pick? Max Holmes he's very good. He was, if you started him, then well done. But if you didn't start him, I think he's now gone up in price to a point that doesn't warrant what he's giving you at the moment in the 90s and 80s. His role changes, sometimes in the wing, sometimes I wouldn't go there myself.
Yeah, some of the picks worked out at 400k. Nick Martin didn't look like it for the first 2 weeks. Holmes definitely did look like it was for the first couple of weeks. But, yeah, I think there's some better options there at the moment.
Jonas, I'm not everybody's father, mate. Like, you tell me I'm SuperCoach God's father. You're telling me I'm Maltesing. Jonas, be careful. I might be your father. Ask Mama Jonas. Mikey Phillips. How's it going, Mikey? Thoughts on trades this week? Boost. Mass, Grundy, and King.
Yep.
Ooh, King. All right, someone's
Yeah.
following in the Scott Father's
Well,
footsteps.
Yeah, I know Shaq and a few other people brought in King as well, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say is yeah.
For Tom Brown, Horn Francis, and Martin or Steele, don't know who to do.
You know what I would do? If I had this team, I would not go Tom Brown. I would go Closey and then flip and then use the money to get Horn Francis up to a better player. That's what I would do. I think it gives you another 100K. Potentially, you can go Steele. You can get Steele and Martin if you go Closey instead of Tom Brown. And I think the scoring looks to be there. I think the role looks to be there. So, yeah, should be okay.
Well, I think I am their grandfather. I'm more than you, Joe, but could be my brother. Happy to be your brother from another mother, Jonas. Absolutely. I feel like you are my brother from another mother. Yeah. Carl Amon is our adopted cousin. Paul Allen, boy. Love your works, guys. Grundy getting in the bin. I love it. Can you put up the on the bin, in the bin thing again? In the bin.
In the bin. We'll make it better. I'll make it better.
Rodney, regarding Meek, mid prices around the 400K must be scoring 100 plus to generate any meaningful cash generation. Agreed.
Yep.
That's what my quick maths told me. Paul, is Conway playing next to? Can we trade Grundy to Conway and then make oh no, I would not be risking that, Paul.
No, 100% not. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, don't do that. Big fan of content. Think it's a good idea to drop Jackson now that Shrek is back, plus his high break even. Some people reckon he's going to be top 8. He could be a top 8. He's a very good player. But if you feel... Go.
Going, Joe?
Yeah, go. I was trying to point to you, telling you to go for it.
I think you can wait. I still reckon they're gonna slowly put him in the team. I don't think they're gonna straight away just chuck him in there and then that's it. I do think that if you look at our forward line as well at the moment, there's just no one there. So Jackson scoring 95s every week, kicking goals, taking marks, especially contested marks in the forward line, which he loves. He could still average like a 95 to 100, which is still a keeper. At least keep Jackson over the next 2 weeks while Gawn and Grundy both have a bye. Like, it's tough to trade him out now and then have Grundy, like, having to find a spot for Grundy as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Paul has sharp.
I would be more comfortable with you putting Jackson as R2 and trading out like a Grundy this week. That's what I would be more happy. He's going to lose like 20K. It's not that much money.
Yeah. Paul's asking, has Sharp got at least 100K plus by round 9? He's already got 131. If he goes 68, he goes up 54, which puts him...
Scroll down. Scroll down. That's what we need. There you go. So that's what we want. So round 9, it says he's probably going to be 3... If he keeps up like the projected scores around the 60. See, I think this is a little bit lower. Maybe if he scores like a 70, I think he gets to about 360K. So if you're happy with that, that's okay.
If you give us an 80, 400, here we come.
Exactly, which is what we want. Like a 120 in an average and an 80 in the average. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Jack's still scoring was ridiculous.
Yep.
Josh, how's it going? Best score, 23.71. Well done. Haven't thought of a song yet. Let us know when you do.
No
Dacos is your falling primo after the bye. Oh, well done. Very nice. Cuz, Meek, Flanders, or Marshall, and no Flanders till probably round 7. Boost it up. How many boosts you got left? You boost it up. Get Flanders in.
Yeah. He's not going to get the tag.
Yeah, don't be worried about that one. Jamon, too early to hop off McKercher if it allows me to go Grundy, Mass, McKercher to Gawn, Martin, and Clossy. I think he's gone. Too early to hop off McKercher, I think.
I think you're 1 week too early, but depending on how much money and trades you have next week, I don't mind it. I think you're okay. Just expect McKercher to end up at like 350K. That's all it is. If he shits the bed this week, we're all in a bit of trouble. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think he's probably going to get to 350k. So yeah.
I am praying so hard for a max going down for. Oh my god. Has Dawn been affected by Crouch? Ever since Crouch has come into the side, he has not averaged. He has not scored 110 yet.
Yeah. So that's
crazy. I know this sounds odd, but thinking of getting rid of Grundy and Jackson, get Gordon Flanders. It's not crazy at all. I don't think it's crazy.
Nah, it's okay. It's just not optimal.
You're right, because Gorn's not going to be R1 or R2. So that's you're paying too much for him.
Joe's so funny.
I've gone one trade this week, Lions to Clossy, leaving me with very nice. Very nice. I like it, Trav. And you moved Dacos into the midfield. Very cool. Velo, who are you betting on this week so you can eat your socks?
You're really lucky that Williams didn't score very well, Joe. This Monday night stream might have changed a bit.
Mate, the house always wins. There was no way that freaking Billings was going to score 100 plus. I got away with one, Velo. I'm not about to test my luck. Give me two options of who, and then I might maybe have a look. Still got 3 boosts. Very nice, Travis. Come out of the Clossy and into my team. I like it. Cheese. I love the funny videos. Oh, yes. SuperCoach Masters. 100%. They are very, very nice. I like them. Really appreciate you guys letting me know that I can trade out Massimo and Fisher for Clossy and Merritt. Didn't even cross my mind. You're very welcome, Flag Pies. That's why we're here. Shabs Kebabs. Love me a good kebab. Who's a better option, Marshall or English? Bro, it's a freaking coin flip at the moment.
It's a tricky one. I would just say I think Marshall may be the better pick just because he's cheaper. Yes. Like that 90k at this point in time, it's something I'm tossing up with at the moment. That 90k basically gives you another free upgrade. That's probably the big thing. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. And I paid full price for him at the start of the year. Get it around me. Oh, yeah, we already saw that. Rodney Essen bringing back Simon Madden. We basically have someone as old as Simon Madden and Goldie right now. I still have Coffell and Hall, so I need him or anyone. Yeah, sure. Trav, hi guys. I'm thinking Howes, Short, and Jordan to Ryan, Clossy, and going late on Sharp. Trading out Jaden Short.
I wouldn't go late on Sharp, to be honest.
Yeah, but Short, jeez, Jaden Short. That sucks, bro. That sucks. 132 break even.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of money. It was 540k. Yeah, 540k.
That's just ridiculous. That's just so bad. Yeah, fair enough. I can get around that, Trav. Lachlan, I'm trading Howes to Clossy, and I need a downgrade for James Jordan, so I'll be set to get Merritt next week.
Nice.
A downgrade. He needs a downgrade. Can you do Sharp?
You could probably go Caleb Graham. If Caleb Graham's named, you could go Caleb Graham.
Sure. Very well. Very well.
I've updated the get in the bin overlay if you want to have a look.
Do it. Get in the bin. I like it. Well done. Very nice. Very nice. Jim, who would you get rid of first? Williams or Massimo? If he continues being this shit.
Done. Massimo's done.
Bro, Massimo's gone next week.
Yeah. Massimo is in the bin next week. It looks like he's lost his role. Hawks backline hasn't been doing as well, and he hasn't been doing as well there. And Hawks have been getting close to winning a couple of games, so they could have won this week. Did they win or did I think they could have won? Yeah, they could have been Collingwood this week, and Massimo didn't score great. So, kind of shows you a little bit where they're at with him in the team. Get rid of him. Zach Williams, I think the guy could end up being 400k. I think he's the one you end up keeping on your field.
Yep. James Mulry, Fife and Jordan for Clossy and Steele. Nah, that's too early on Fife. Low break even, great scoring. He's got West Coast, not this week, next week. I'd probably hold on to Fife for as long as he can play until he gets injured, or hopefully he avoids that. But yeah, Fife I think is fine to hold. Jordan, yes, Jordan can go. Clossy frees up a lot of money, and then you can maybe get even a Zach Merritt next week. So those are your plans. Shabs Kebabs again, trading out Howes, McKercher, Inns, Grundy for Clossy. Howes, McKercher, and Grundy for Clossy, Sharp, and English. Or Howes, Pink, Golden out, Clossy, Brown, and Merritt. No.
I wouldn't be trading Goulden. Unfortunately, I think Goulden's a keeper. He did just score. Didn't he just score like a 100 and something?
He scored really well this week, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I would be keeping Goulden, unfortunately. Yeah, let me just check. Goulden 129. So yeah, I'd be keeping Goulden there. Let's check. You could do the first trade if you want to. You could do the first trade.
Yeah. Do you reckon Josh Draper keeps his spot and will Zach Reed be soon? Bro, the way our freaking medical team is as incompetent as I can't even think of how just as incompetent as it possibly can be. I would not be surprised if Zach Reed gets an injury extension because it's ridiculous. We can't get anyone fit and healthy on the park. It's ridiculous. And Josh Draper might hold on to a spot. I think he played a decent game. So I'm not entirely sure if he does. I'm not in the know when it comes to Freo. Freo Tragic, Dan, he's really normally a good one. Damo, Supercoach, also a really good one. They're both Fremantle boys. So you can hit them up on Twitter. Jamin, do you expect McKercher to get 70k more? But Martin's break even and Gordon's break even. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, which is where I'm okay with doing it. I'd rather go McKercher up to a better primo. But if you're like, cool, Martin is the one, do it. Because Martin's going to be 360k next week. And then the week after that, he might be even more expensive. And I think next week is the week you have to get him.
Yep, for sure. Here's what you've changed profile pictures midstream. Very cool. Danbro, Fife, and Roberts are the guys I can trade up from this. Do I just hold this week and get Merritt, or track in the next few weeks, or go get Flanders this week?
I would get Flanders. I mean, ultimately, you look at getting Flanders this week, Merritt next week, and then track the week after if you can facilitate it. So that's probably the big thing.
I'm not sure I can. I might have to go Meek in order to do that.
Well, I mean, like that's where I'm like, cool. I wanted to go McKercher plus a rookie up, but I'm happy with trading like a Sanders and McKercher to get to get like Steele, Track, Merritt over the next 3 weeks. Like, I'm okay. Like McKercher and Roberts, he comes Merritt. Like, I'm happy at that point. So sucks.
Hey guys, can you look at SNCBAs and explain the trend on Merritt? All right,
guys,
sure.
If you haven't already as well, just while we're looking at this, I did post a cool picture up on our post page. So jump on the channel, check out the community posts. There is a really cool picture on there asking about who would you guys spend $15 to get these players in. Keen to see kind of what your thoughts are with that. Make sure you check it out.
All right, so looking at the CBAs, he is our number one mid because he is our captain and our best player. There was no Darcy Parish. Sorry?
And he can really only play mid. Plays mid and high half forward, which is effectively the same kind of role for him anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, Zach Merritt is our best ball user. His kicks inside 50s are the ones that yield the score assists more often than not. He's a tackler. He's good at getting free kicks for those things. And he's normally a very good ball user. So, I mean, Zach Merritt is Zach Merritt. I'm not entirely sure how much more I can tell you other than that this dude's a freak. One of the best players in the comp. And if he was playing for a better team, he'd probably get even more recognition. You know, he's gone a 116, a 112, 114, 115. Like he's averaged over 100 every single year, apart from his 2 first seasons, his rookie season and then his second season. And after that, he's gone over 110, close to 110, almost 105, 115. You know what I mean? Like he's just excellence and consistency. So the dude's a freak. Even with 69% CBAs on the weekend, he still makes up because he can rack up the pill like nobody's business. And he had 56% disposal efficiency. That is very low compared to what he normally does. If you look at his average disposal efficiency, he normally goes in the 70s. He had 56% and still scored a 130. So this guy he is him, Jimmy. He is him.
You have to get him in. Him and Petrarca over the next 2 or 3 weeks, they have to be your ins. Whatever you do now doesn't matter. These guys are popping off 140s basically from now until whenever. You have to get them in.
When do you reckon we should be trading at Matty Roberts?
I would wait, I reckon, until around the 400k mark. The thing with Roberts, right? A lot of us had the plans for him to go into the backline. If your backline is set for a little while, you can hold on to Roberts for right now. That's kind of the way that I'm looking at a lot of stuff. If Matt Roberts, you're not happy with high 80 scores, then 100% look to swap him. But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one.
Oh no, Matt Roberts, 3-round average of 90.7. This is terrible. With a break even of 14. We must get rid of him soon.
And I think that the 14 is because he had a poor score like 2 weeks ago as well. So pull up his scoring.
69.
Yeah. So you'll be right.
Yeah, no, he should be right. Jonas, Danbros, McKercher, and Howes to a primo and 2 rookies next week.
Yep, that's the way to go.
I'm hoping that Reid comes back and cooks Martin scoring. He plays key possession defense, Paul. He's not going to do that. Shabs Kebabs, thanks, guys. Up the Catters anytime. I'm very glad you guys beat the Dogs last week. I freaking hate the Dogs. All right, we're going to legit finish up these last couple of comments, and then we call it a night. We said 10 o'clock, but we did a little bit.
They keep asking questions.
They keep asking questions. They were really good. Well done. Yeah, Leroy Jenkins. What scores for you guys?
Well, I think we scored the same.
Reviews. Watch our reviews.
I think we scored the same, Joe.
Of course, you get merit ASAP. I'm not going to read the rest of that because I know it's going to be derogatory towards the Bombers. Flag pies. I traded out Carl Amon last week for Tom Green, who I had as captain, and brought in Draper to the Brown. It is what it is. You missed out on the rookie roulette, but it is what it is. Yep. Sorry, Fletcher. Thoughts on trading out Kirch? Yeah, you can. If it means getting another primo in, you can, absolutely. But probably ideal to hold on to him for one more week. We didn't check out teams this week because this week we were flooded with a lot of questions, and I can completely understand why. It's a massive week for trading, and it was all about Lloyd Meek this week.
Yep, it was. Guys, jump on the live stream Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. The drive home, and it's going to be one of those games. I don't think we even have a round. Is there a Thursday night game this week, Joe? I'm not 100% sure. Okay, cool.
There is.
So another Thursday night game. Max Gorn's going to slap people who don't own Max Gorn. It's going to be fantastic, but make sure you stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jump on, check our community post as well. Love to get some input on which players you guys would put in. So have a look at that.
Bro, Max Gorn, just go to sleep, mate. Please, just calm it down. Just calm it down, Max Gorn.
You can't do it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like on this live stream. Help that algorithm get going. A subscription if you're new would greatly help the growth of our channel. Hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on any of our videos and streams and community posts that we do, because we love making videos for you. We love making content for you guys, and we love this interaction every single week. It is an absolute blessing, and we hope that you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, if you haven't already, check out our round review videos as well. Keeping all of those going for the week. So it could be a lot of fun.
See you guys in the next one, because here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work. so you guys don't have to.
Wednesday, captaincy videos. Players, we need to bring in videos as well. Should be a lot of good.
Bye.